I'm at Ray Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah,
You have your doors locked?
it's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
And poof, here we are. Okay, so obviously this is great news that we're hearing today. We're not going to talk too much about it because we're going to be streaming Mel from Cold Truth, her live, and I'll be popping off here in just a minute and heading over to Mel's channel, and then Mel, myself, and Ray's family will be joining on Mel from Cold Truth channel. Okay. No, I didn't see this coming either until obviously it was released unexpectedly. But again, I'll let the family and on Mel's channel explain that part. This is, of course, to bring awareness, of course, to Ray Hanish's case. It's a case that absolutely needed justice to rear its head finally, and that's what seems to be happening. So prayers, of course, for Ray Hanish and the family, and for the long time and the struggles that they have been going through since 2019. Remember, you guys, if you aren't aware, this was approximately 2 weeks before Nicole Bowen's unaliving. So anyways, Adam's going to be, running the live here, and depending on how long the other live goes on Mel's channel, depending on when that ends, then I'll be popping back over here after it to discuss it. And, I'm just so happy. I didn't see it coming. And, I often wondered many times if Ray was ever going to see the justice, knowing full well that it was said that Garett Kirts had admitted to it, and that Open Secrets had, it on tape. So again, let's drop Mel's channel here again.
Sonny, can you pin the link to Mel's channel in the chat?
Yeah, can do. And then I got to really pop off here and head over there. Okay, let me.
Hey, everyone, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it here, and then I'm going to go pin it in the live stream as well. Let's see, unpin, pin this. Oops, did I put that in the right spot? Yeah, hold on. Okay, and pin that. Okay, so that should be pinned now. Okay, you guys, so everything's going. Streamlabs is up. Adam will be hosting this channel, like I said, depending on how long that one goes. I'll be coming back over here afterwards. So other than that, Adam, I'm going to leave it with you. And, if you have any troubles, you know where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to head off.
When I stream, when I go to Mel's to stream, I just do share screen. Open her.
Yeah, hold on.
And
yeah, you got it on your computer there?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to?
I've got it open in another tab.
Yeah, get ready. Just pull it up actually now, so that when it's ready and comes on, that way you can sit yourself in the corner and then put it full screen as soon as it comes on. Okie dokie. Yep, there you go. And then just make it full screen when it's time, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll see you just in a bit. Bye, guys.
We'll try to behave.
Okay, try. Okay, bye.
Hey, everyone. How is everyone tonight? We weren't planning on doing a live, so yeah, this was completely unexpected. I'll go ahead and say some hellos. And I guess we're about 5 minutes from them starting over there. We've got StreamYards in the house. We've got Rose. Hey, Michaela. Yeah, Michaela, we did say no live stream. It's a crying shame. She's not here anymore. Hey, Shelly. There's me. Hey, Austin. And then Shelly, yeah, the Mel's channel should be pinned there in the comments. Hey, sees through. Michaela, if anyone else having trouble with the audio, is anyone else having trouble with the audio? Because it's coming through fine on my end, but maybe try to refresh your screen, Michaela. The audio is echoing. I was sleeping, and I might be sleeping right now. Good for you. Hey, bass girl. Hey, DT. Hey, Callie. Good to see you. Hey, Kyle Davis. Okay, guys, thank you. Yeah, so it doesn't sound like anyone else is having an echo, Michaela, so I would just try refreshing your screen, and hopefully that will fix it. I know. It really is amazing news. And I'm excited to hear what Cher, Ray's family has to say. Callie, I'll be up there Wednesday. Oh, anytime, Callie. I'm good tonight, Kyle. I just got home from work a little bit ago, and like I said, we weren't expecting to do a live tonight, but Sonny and I had both heard this news a little earlier today, and you know, Mel, who from Cold Truth, she's worked tirelessly for Ray's family, and she's really been dedicated to bringing justice for Ray. And she's also gone to, I know, a court date or two of Garett Kirts. So she is one of the best people possible to do this with. And I'm glad that Sonny and her are going to talk to Ray's family. And I'm glad that I can be here hanging out with everyone and run the stream. I did tell Sonny that I might like break in and do commentary, but I'll try not to. Okay. Sounds good, Callie. It's none of your business, Austin. Well, I took you as far as my audio technology, my audio understanding goes, Michaela. But no, Austin, anyone's allowed to meet up as long as they bring me coffee. Let's go see what is happening over here. Let's say something in the chat, let's say. So discombobulated tonight because I moved everything on my desk around, and so my computer's in a different place now, and it was not the day to do that. Why was there an error? Try again. That's weird. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Grandma watches. How are you tonight? This is a lot of things to try to handle at one time. My ADHD is not going to handle it very well. Well, goodness, they're late. Aren't you guys glad that we're never late? It's really rude and annoying. Uh-oh, I'm sorry, Austin. Yeah, I'm good, Grandma watches. That's all Sunny. That's not me. I know. It's incredibly rude to be late. I'm telling Sunny that she's late. Yeah, Shelly, I don't think so either, personally. I think that Garett Kirts just did what druggies do. They make up lies. Oh, you know what, Shelly? I didn't check my mail, but I will tonight after we get off this live. Like I said, I got home from work and I had like 20 minutes to get this together, so. Awesome. Exactly. Kyle Davis. Thank you so much, Kyle Davis. Kyle Davis says, Sunny, where are you? Sunny is going to be over on Cold Truth's channel, which we are going to be streaming. For anyone that's just coming in too, Garett Kirts, who, is serving a 50-some year prison sentence for unaliving Nicole Bowen, is the news came out today that he's been charged in the death of Ray Hanish, whose unaliving has been up until this point unsolved, even though Garett Kirts confessed to open secrets. And so Mel from Cold Truth and Sunny are going to be talking to Cher, and I believe Mike from Ray's family. So they should be coming on any minute. I ordered a new guitar today. I'm excited for it to arrive. That's awesome. I don't know how to play the guitar. My kid just asked, hey, Mom, is that just Adam on there? Yep. Well, hey to Dee Dee's kid. Dee Dee, how old is your child? Boy or girl?
Hello, Miss Dottie. Hey, Cher. Hey, Sunny.
Hi.
I'm going to take myself off and I'm going to...
We're all super excited about today. Like we have, and the thing is like me and me and Sunny have been covering this. It's a crime and shame. And I was looking on YouTube earlier, and her videos and my videos are like, so it's good to have you with us tonight. And we are streaming on here, and somehow we're streaming over there. You guys know how I do with the Slimucast. I don't really know what the heck it is. So it's either got to be Sunny helping me or Chaotic Beauty and Crime. So weird, this is something that we were not ready for. Like, we didn't know this was going to happen today. I was told about it on Tuesday from the prosecutor, but he had asked that, like, kind of mums the word until sometime next week. But obviously he changed his mind. He must be as excited as we are, right? That's all I can think. Yeah. So we're here, and I'm going to just briefly read you. It's a short article, and I'm going to read that, and then we're going to talk about Ray a little bit. And then, you can ask any questions that you have of Miss Dottie and share. Obviously, they're not going to be able to answer quite a lot, and I will play referee with what I think they can answer and what they can't. But if you have questions, now's your time to put them in the chat, and we'll try to get to them. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article. If I could only find it on Facebook, how about you? Were you able to find it on like Google, like
Facebook? It was Facebook? On that news and review. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So is it just like a Facebook?
It's well, it showed Discord up in the corner. But I mean, the person that posted it, if you Google her name, she's up there. I was actually trying to find it, but it's one of those things is that I don't think it's widespread yet on, say, Google, which it will be soon enough.
Right. All right. So I'm just going to read this real quick before we get started. Grand jury indicts man with murder in the 2019 death of Charles Ray Hanish by Amy Graham McCarty. A grand jury has returned a true bill charging Garett Kirts, formerly of Lebanon, with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of theft in connection with the 2019 death of Charles Ray Hanish. Hanish's body was found in a Reynolds duplex in March of 2019. The coroner ruled Hanish's death a homicide from asphyxia due to ligature strangulation. Hanish worked in Monticello as a nurse at the time of his death. Kirts is currently serving a 50-plus year sentence in the Indiana Department of Corrections for the murder of Nicole Bowen in Newton County. Her manner of death was ruled strangulation. Hanish's death was investigated by the Indiana State Police, who turned their findings over to the then White County prosecutor, Bob Guy. This week, current White County prosecutor Mark Delgado called for a grand jury to review the case. Quote, "To my knowledge, this is the first time a grand jury has been called in White County," end quote, Delgado said. Quote, "At least this is the first time for the entire time I've been in White County," end quote. "A grand jury is different from a jury," Delgado said. "It is comprised of citizens, but is secretive. What is discussed in the grand jury cannot be shared publicly to protect the integrity of the case." Quote, "A grand jury just simply decides if there is probable cause or reason to believe a crime has occurred, as opposed to a jury that decides guilt or innocence," end quote, he said. Quote, "Prosecutors can file charges in 2 ways, via a true bill, through a grand jury, or through an indictment. Once a grand jury has deemed that there is cause for charges, the prosecutor then reviews the information and moves forward with formal charges. We anticipate this is a quote, "We anticipate the prosecutor's office will file formal charges next week with a hearing shortly thereafter," end quote, says Delgado. Delgado says he plans to use the grand jury process more often moving forward. So, yeah, this does, like, we need to be careful with how we word things, but this is, it's been since 2019 and no movement. Mark Delgado, the prosecutor there in White County, he just got into office in January, Sonny? And then now we see And when I talked to him, he said that, like they're moving forward. He's been working on this since before he was the prosecutor. So his team have been diligently working for justice for Ray. Finally. So hello, Miss Dottie. How are you today? You doing good?
I am. It was kind of a different kind of day. I had a lot of jitters, but it went really smooth.
Good. And we know you can't talk about that, but I know you want to come on here and just thank everybody in the Facebook group. We're gonna, oh goodness, I hope I right place. There is a Justice for Ray Hanish Facebook group, and I'm going to share this live there, and then I'm going to drop a link for everyone to join the group. It has been, I know for you guys, do you want to say anything to the group members? Miss Dottie, I know that was important to you.
It is. I can't thank everybody enough for the love, support, the prayers, and staying with me for the entire 4 years. It's not like you just came on and then disappeared. You've just been a marvelous support for me, helped me with so many bad days, give me hope that things were going to get better, and knew that I had backup and support all the way. I just want to say thank you so much for all that you have done for me personally.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. And the group has been, a really consistent, nice place, the soft place to land for you guys. And I'm really happy that we had such good members and mods. We've got, they just do a great job in that Facebook group. And, yeah. So I am going to grab the link for the group and I will share it in the chat.
Yeah. Southern Ladies was asking if more than just Garett Kirts. They can't really talk anything about what's going on. And what, Dottie?
I'm sorry. I a little bit. I got good volume, but my hearing is bad. I'm sorry. Could you ask that again?
No. Someone was just asking was if there's more than just Garett Kirts. But I know that you're not allowed to be talking about the case in a sense of if there's any other charges, or that will come out in the future, I'm sure, if there is.
Right. Well, Mr. Delgado, I think, put in his statement of what the charges are going to be. He's really moving forward. He's done great. He kind of upped the charges from what the previous prosecutor was going to do. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing to us that the charges are even better for us than what they were with the original prosecutor, if he ever decided to take the case to the court.
Right. Richard Guy, I think it was something Guy or whatever it was. But I'm so happy for you.
Robert.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, he's
yeah, he had 4 years to do it and did nothing.
Yeah, and then like what he told you was like, if I remember correctly, he had told you, Miss Dottie, like in one of your guys' meetings, he was just kind of dismissive and like, well, if he says anything from, behind bars, then maybe we'll do something, maybe we'll have enough. And we all knew that just, it seems to be, it was like really passive then. And I think we all kind of still feel the same way, but you know what? He is retired and old news. So we are looking at, just overjoyed. He's been, they're looking to charge him next week with murder. And in Indiana, we have murder, intentional murder, and then we have manslaughter. Robert Guy was only willing to put out that maybe we could charge him with manslaughter. And we all knew that that was not justice for Ray. And that just wasn't enough. It was intentional homicide. And in my opinion, he was targeted, which makes it a hate crime because he was found on a dating app. They found Ray on a dating app. And this is all stuff that has been known to the public. And we just couldn't get him to listen. So, and I know that Sunny's been preaching the same thing on her channel, and we're just overjoyed.
I am just so happy for the family, so happy for Ray. I literally got the chills and shivers because it was such unexpected news. And just the other day when I was thinking about Ray, I was like, I wasn't sure if he was ever going to find his justice for the family. And it just saddened me so much because I just wasn't sure. So I'm like, it's such a sad, tragic event that happened to this family. And I know that they've dealt with a lot. But it's like, I'm smiling because finally the family has got someone to work properly with them, and charges are, being laid, and justice should be served for Ray Hanish, whatever the outcome is. Like, we all obviously know that Garett Kirts is innocent until proven guilty, blah, blah, blah. But it's so nice to know that this case is moving forward the way it should have before.
Right. This is a message for you guys. Thank you, Lake. Sending hugs and prayers for Cher and Miss Dottie. We all didn't know Ray, but we all love Ray. And I was just making a intro video.
Yeah.
I don't have one. And I have Ray in it. And it was a quote from Ray is what I put it on it. And I want to read it really quick because I think you guys, we want to hear you talk about Ray a little bit. But I want to share this quote that I had found a long time ago when I was on Ray's Facebook page. And this is a quote from him. It says, "Be careful as to not leave permanent scars on someone else's heart, Ray." And that, when I, like that just, I think embodies who he was. And it's such a beautiful quote, of like, we go through this life and every person that we interact with, we leave them with something of ours. And when you spread love, you get love. And that's what Ray was all about. And that's why, what Lake said is so true. We didn't know him. I didn't know him, but I feel like I do because his sisters and his mom and everybody's done such a great job. Can you guys tell us a little bit about Ray? Hey, Cher, do you want to say anything? I know you don't like this very much, but everybody loves you. The chat, you're always here supporting.
Yeah. Sharon, do you want to speak up?
Well, I don't really know what to say.
Okay.
He was my brother, and he loved everybody, and everybody loved him, and it was, just a shame that this had to happen.
Yes,
absolutely.
Unnecessary. Just so full of hate.
At Ray's services, we weren't able to have a viewing because his bruises were too intense to be covered up. So they didn't feel it was fair to have a viewing. But they had to open up 2 extra rooms for the people that had come to pay their respects. It was just wonderful. Some said that they had to park over a block away and walk, up it.
Wow.
It was just an outpouring, and all of the sweet things. People, I had no idea who they were, but they told me they worked with Ray 30 years prior. And they came to just pay their respects and tell me what a wonderful man he was.
Right.
A mother always feels that about her child. But when you have people coming up to you, one after the other, telling you what a great man he was, what a special person he was. That is just so heartwarming. I had someone text me that her mother was in the Lafayette Veterans Hospital. And she said when Ray was on duty, she never had to worry about her mom because she knew her mom was going to get the best care possible. And she said one night that the nurses were all going to get pizza. So he said, come in and ask them if, they wanted to share it with them. And she said, oh, no, thank you. We've already eaten. And said Ray ended up coming in with pizza for them anyway.
Aww.
She said he just was the most empathetic, compassionate person. So I got stories after stories from people that I had no idea who they were, but they introduced themselves to me through text or at the viewing, the services, and just one after the other, that he was just a caring, compassionate person.
Yeah, he didn't
Dottie,
leave scars. He left love on people's hearts.
Yeah. Can I just say to me, Dottie, and Cher and Mel, but as soon as I saw Ray, he just exudes this light of beauty around him. You can literally see what type of kindred spirit he is. And every time I look at him, even to this day, I just, how it's like a big light is coming across. And yeah, absolutely. You just see it. You just feel it. You can always tell when someone is you can just see the light, like I said, the aura of them around there. And every time I look at him, it's so tragic. It's so tragic. But obviously, I'm happy that we're hearing this today because Ray, that beautiful man, and the family deserve the justice for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a little bit of what I've been working on for Ray. It's a couple of the pictures, and then Sunny made a beautiful thumbnail for the video as well. But like your light remains. This is Miss Dottie and Cher here, and Miss Cheryl. This is Nicole Bowen's mother, sweet woman who's been there. These two women have been, just as Nicole, she got her justice, and this is the same case that Robert Guy said you could just share her justice for Nicole, and just let that be the justice you get for Ray.
Right.
And we said, no, thank you. His family, they fought for him just as he fought for so many people. And that's starting to come to fruition. So it's just a very exciting time. There's not a lot we'll be able to talk about, especially once the probable cause is released. I will, we'll get that, and we will share those things. How do you guys feel about moving forward? Obviously, this is the grand jury has decided that there's enough to indict him with murder and 2 counts of theft. How are you feeling happen to see Garett Kirts again in court? And are you ready for, I know what all we went through during Nicole's, seeing him all of those times that he was there, and during Ashley Garth's murder trial when he testified. How are you guys feeling about, are you ready to look him? What's going to be the thing that keeps you with the most hope moving forward?
I don't know. I thought about it, coming face to face, although I saw him many times in the courtroom for Nicole.
Right.
But this is, for Ray. And I'm not sure just how I'm going to react to it. I'm going to go through it. I'm doing it because Ray has to have justice. He deserves justice. Everybody deserves justice. I don't care who they are, what they've done, but no one should get murdered and not have justice for it. And
exactly.
I will go through what I have to go through to see that Ray gets justice.
Amen. And you know, this
Exactly.
Garett Kirts confessed to this a long time ago. You know, you guys knew about it by what was it, September of 2019, August, September of 2019, when you were told that, hey, somebody has confessed in another county. You know, we had talked to. It's just kind of crazy, and that was where you were posting on his Facebook profile. That's how I kind of found you. Like Ginger, Nicole Bowen's aunt was like, "What's going on? Like, can we talk? Can you talk to them? Like, what should we do?" So it's been a long roller coaster of a ride, and it's definitely been upsetting, and you know, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, to be honest. I'm at a loss for questions. I'm just happy. I know your guys' hearts, and I know how you have just what all you've had to go through, and it's been. I'm proud to call you guys my friends, and I love you both so much, and just a really great family, and you know, it's sad why we're brought together. I hate to even say a silver lining, because it's never enough. You know, you should be able to have your Ray with you, and I wish he was here, and I hope that this upcoming charges and whatever happens from there on out, whether he takes a plea or it goes to trial, I hope that you guys know I'll be there with you and answer any questions. And I'm going to fight to get you a victim's advocate within the prosecutor's office. That's going to be my first question for Prosecutor Delgado, is because there are victims advocates. And you guys, if you have one of those, you'll be up to date and know everything that you need to know from the courthouse. I think it took Miss Cheryl how long to get one? It was like a year and a half in, you know. So
Mel, can you explain that to people that have no clue what you're talking about?
So it's like, you can have, under Indiana law, there is each a victim's advocate. So if you don't need, if you're a live victim of a crime, or if you are the family of a victim that a crime was perpetrated onto them. So you can have kind of a go-between, that they work in the prosecutor's office. Some smaller ones share the job with, you know, they also have different roles, but under Indiana law, they're required to keep you up to date, so that you're not finding out about court dates from the media. You're not finding out about updates to the case via me. You know, you're finding out straight from the prosecutor's office. And, you know, once Miss Cheryl had hers through the Newton County prosecutor's office, like, things started to go a lot smoother for her. So it's something that we're definitely gonna, like, get you guys in contact with whomever that person is. But yeah, it's basically just a victim's advocate within. They will do the go-between between the family, and sometimes the prosecutors will keep in contact. Some prosecutors don't like to. Like, if you guys remember what the Newton County prosecutor said, you know, he's like, I don't feel like I can do my job to the best of my ability and speak with the families on a regular basis, because I need to be able to distance myself so that I can try this case to the best of my ability. And then after the trial was over, you know, like, they had such a great talk, and you know, with the prosecutor there in Newton County. So sometimes they like to kind of distance. It's just safer as far as the outcome of a trial. We don't know if this is going to go to trial. Garett Kirts took a plea agreement. He took a plea in the murder of Nicole Bowen, and he received, I think it was 55 years, which is the, about the average for murder in Indiana. It's the recommended sentence for intentional murder. And the thing is Kirts murdered Nicole very shortly. It's an unfortunate, it's always been just such a punk kid, and then he's just terrible, and I just wish they'd never run across each other's paths,
Correct me if I'm wrong here. March 13th was the date you guys found him on the February 17th, correct? But it was the 13th it happened. Yeah, Nicole Bowens was like March 31st. Is that correct though? The 13th, right? And the reason I'm saying the 13th is because, this is, like I said, this number just travels everywhere. But it was the 17th, and they never deemed it as a crime scene. And it's been so sad to know that these events have all happened to the family, but through it all, they fought for justice for Ray, and hopefully that days finally come for them that, justice will be had. And, Garett Kirts, he's a little snake. He'll probably plea bargain something or another out of this. I just, like I said, just want justice for Ray, no matter who's involved or whatever. Just justice for Ray. He deserves it.
Yes, he does. And then he's never going to see the light of day again. And then to go for the extra charges, those are okay. So in a murder case in Indiana, murder is just intentional killing of another. That is literally what Indiana code title says, is just intentional murder of another. And then then you can also add aggravating circumstances, and so the thefts would be aggravating circumstance to the intentional, which is pre-planned murder. It is you intended on killing this person, you saw out to kill them, you premeditated the crime, the murder, so you went into it with forethought, and then you executed your forethought plan onto another human being. And there's just I got to be really careful. There's so much you just can't say, but this was just a cruel, very cruel murder. And so by adding the theft onto, those are considered like aggravating circumstances. And so, that he's pushing for an even stiffer sentence on top of the recommended 55 years for murder in the state of Indiana is awesome. And I do hope that they consider charging him with a hate crime. Because I think this is just my opinion, if you seek someone out from a community, I wish we had CJ here with us to talk. I know I saw her chat, post a comment up there. So Rainbow Crimes, if you're here, thank you so much for your help. We were talking about it backstage. You are awesome. Your podcast is awesome. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know Cher and Miss Dottie, thank you too. But yeah, we're just all kind of trying to get our bearings tonight. Cool. So tell me to shut up, please.
Absolutely. The love that the two of you have shown us it's just so heartwarming to us. It helps, gives us hope that somebody believes in us, somebody believed that Ray deserved justice and have fought to help bring that about. So our thanks go out to both of you twofold, because you've just been amazing for us.
You know,
I think we get as much out of it as we give, you know. And I got you too. I got you. I got Roxy. I got Cher. I got the rest of your extended family. So, you know, like,
I mean, this case is Mel's baby. You know,
it really is.
I didn't know that until I was already looking into Ray because of the Delphi case, and then I came across Mel at some point, and then
I kind of gave you a little bit of hell too. I get feisty about the Ray, you know, like it's just kind of like what's going on, and then you ended up doing so many beautiful like tribute videos for Ray and his family, and like keeping his name out there, and your channel has grown so big. So I'm glad that we're able to like, hey, it's a Crime and Shame family. You guys see me in the chat all the time. We love you. We know you guys are all so happy tonight, and thank you, Aspen. Wish you were here with us, Mr. Diva, but that's okay. You're over there. They didn't think I'd be able to figure it out, which they're totally right. I wouldn't have been able to.
No, it was more Adam too. I was like, I don't want to complicate this, because if Adam really wanted to, he could put it on pause right now, and he could hop over on the link, and he would just pause the thing, and let the live run its course while he was hopping on this channel if he wanted to. But it's just hard to explain that. And we were kind of in a rush because we all just talked. Because really, I just want to, if you don't mind if I say this, like, this information wasn't supposed to come out, and it was released early. And so for me personally, I would rather hear you guys hear from the horse's mouth, from Ray's family, than all speculation and all that stuff. So, it's out there. We know how things go through the internet so fast, and there's nothing more, heartwarming to me, because this is their brother, their son, their sibling, their nephew, all those different things. So I'm very grateful that you did decide to do this live tonight, because again, it's just appropriate. It's justice for Ray, and nobody can tell the story like you guys can. I mean, I'm just trust me, Mel's the baby of this case. Yes, we've been covering it. When I look at Ray, he was the epitome of just someone that every time I looked at him, my heart just broke for the family, for Ray. And like you, Dottie, doesn't matter what you've done in life, whether you are a good person in life or whatever, everyone deserves their justice when something wrongful has happened to them, regardless who it is. And Ray just always stole my heart, every time I thought about him. And he was a big part of my thinking always, and you guys, because I remember what was said about the other prosecutor or whatever, and it just was so wrong on so many levels. Ray Hanish needs his own justice. He's not like Nicole got her justice. Ray needs his now. Garett Kirts, he's like at the pinnacle of everything. Now, just to ask you one thing, because it's been said in chat, at no point have they been able to connect Ashley Garth to this besides her phone being there. Is that correct? Only because Adam was asking and a couple other people there.
Do you want to answer that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to answer?
I want to know this.
Cher, we need to hear you speak up a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's just speculation that she was there since her phone was. But from what I remember, Kurtz was strangling her to get her phone. So who's to know?
Yeah.
Right.
I was able to she was on Facebook as Ashley. And before she deleted her Facebook, I had screenshot and this is just my opinion.
You're lagging.
Her phone was there. Am I lagging?
Yeah, just a bit.
Oh yeah, I just seen my drop down. Is that better now?
Yeah, well, you're better now. You're a little pixelated.
I get panicked when this happens to other people.
I need to hold still. I never hold still, and then it just can't track me. But so I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think it was in February of 2019, Garett Kirts strangled Ashley Garth. And the news article stated that he strangled her and then would revive her and then strangle her again. And he did this several different times. He was being charged in, was it Carroll County?
Yeah.
With the domestic violence, like domestic battery. And so she says that he took her phone, like like it was over her phone. So this is what's in the probable file. This is what's in that case file for that case. And then, so I think with her posts, like she seemed to be really, I can't remember exactly. I'll have to go back. It's in the podcast. If you guys go back and listen to the episodes, the Ray playlist, I have a whole playlist of all the episodes that I did for Ray and his family. And I definitely anal.
Tagged at the top of the chat.
I covered the whole everything, like every court document, every criminal history, all of it is on that playlist there. But yeah, so I don't think that she was there. I think that I think that the only person that murdered Ray is Garett. And I think that he, from what you guys saw yourselves, that don't you think that he threw parties there, which is just horrible to think about, but there was evidence when you guys went in. Is that correct, Miss Dottie? Of like somebody threw a party there.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
I remember you telling me about, I can't remember if it was you or Shara Roxy, but about the Ray did not smoke in his home.
No.
And there was just cigarettes everywhere and trash and a bullet and the cell phone. These are things that have been known to the public for years now. Mm-hmm. And, it seems like he threw a party. He killed Ray and then stole his TV, stole his car, and he stole his life, and just the most disrespectful piece of shit person ever. Gosh, I can't stand him.
No,
so I hated seeing him in court, his smug face. I don't know about you guys, but he's so gross, right, Ivy? Ugh.
When in Kurt's case, when you murder somebody, you take that person's life, but you've taken the lives of that person's family too. We survived, but he has just devastated our family. Yeah. So taking the life of one person is just not taking the life of one person. It's just devastating the family members. And, there could be no justice for that. And nothing's ever going to take away the pain and the heartache. But he has to pay for that. He has to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Shara, I know you want to come in here too and tell the girls how much, you appreciate them and the gratitude that you have for them with all that they have done.
Oh, of course. They become like family to us.
Yeah. Feel the same way.
We don't. I mean, there's not enough ways to express our appreciation for them.
Yes.
We appreciate you. You've been, and the thing is like Cher, everybody knows her. She's my shark, she comes in the chats and I put a little shark in there and, cause that's just, she's become a part, loving this community, this YouTube, little world we've got here going on. And, it's been a long road, but do you guys have any last questions or anything? I know it's late, so we don't want to keep them too long, and we'll definitely, subscribe to both of our channels. If one of the mods can drop It's a Criming's link, I would really, really appreciate it. And then, we're going to keep you up to date. We're not done. I've never been done. I still follow Ashley Garth around in the appeals process. I'm not done with her, and I won't be done with this for a very long time. And I don't go away from things. I think that's something that we can all agree about me. When I sink my teeth in, I really bite down hard. So you guys can't get rid of me. And I'd like to see you try. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
What I would like to add in here is that, sometimes we get discouraged with God's timing. We pray and we want him to answer right away. But God blessed us by not answering us right away, because had he answered us, Kirts would have only got charged with homicide. But by God in his infinite wisdom of timing, waited until there's a new prosecutor, and now Kirts is being charged with many more charges, harder charges, more violent charges. And so waiting on God's timing, we may get impatient, but in the long run, we reap the rewards of God's timing.
Yeah. Like I hadn't even thought about that, but you're right. Like we were all like, you guys had gotten to the point of just like desperate for him to be charged with something. And amen, Miss Dottie.
Yes.
Deb says, and Lisa, like I feel you. I know that some of you guys have been around. Incog, Lisa, D. Ashley, I saw she was in here earlier. All names, like, we've Ivy Push in Ivy Rose, Southern, everybody's just been here and in the groups and for Ray. And I know that it was shared in some of the Delphi groups because Ray pulled on their hearts as well, in the Delphi community, the different Facebook groups for Justice for Abigail Williams and Liberty German, is just, and so one of the admins had shared, that's how I saw, Sunny had sent it to me. And then I immediately get a notification from Amy, one of the admins in one of the Delphi groups on Facebook. And they're like, Mel Roberts, question mark, like, what is going on? And I'm like, what? Like, no one's supposed to know about this until Monday, like at the earliest. What is happening?
I did want to ask Dottie and share something about that, actually. Are you allowed to say, like, what day did you hear about this and how did you feel? It's like, obviously you've been talking, but what day did they literally come to you and say that there's going to be charges laid against Garett?
Mom, you'd have to answer that one.
Did they
Sunny, if you had that question for me, I apologize. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Jared, did you say something?
Say it again.
Well, my hearing is bad, and the hearing specialist says, it's women's voices that are soft. I have trouble hearing, and Sunny has one of those voices. It's just something different in the tone that I have trouble hearing. So I don't really, I really don't understand sometimes or hear well the questions that you are asking. So I'm not ignoring you or, I'm definitely not being rude, but I'm just not hearing the question.
She was asking
what I asked was, and I'll tell you, there must be a lag. What did you hear the news that Garett Kirts? Am I cutting up?
Mm-hmm. Now your
Am I
face is
lagging now?
You
all
were.
cray. I can't. It's like every other word. Now you're froze. Darn it.
Did you hear what I was asking though, Mel?
I did. She was wanting to know how long, like when did you first get the news that they were, moving forward with a grand jury? Can you speak to that at all?
You know what? It was a few weeks ago. He had called, and Mr. Delgado had called and said that he had investigators on the case looking, for evidence and more information on Ray's case. And he said someone from his office would be contacting me with more information. And it was about a week later, I got a call from someone in his office that said that they had a grand jury set up, and I was going to be subpoenaed to be one of the witnesses. So it was within the last, I would say, 3 weeks that we found out the information that there was going to be the grand jury hearing and information, more information, I guess, evidence that they had collected.
Yeah, we met with the prosecutor and the investigators on the 14th. And that's when they told Ma that the 23rd is when they were doing the grand jury.
Yes.
Yeah. So the grand jury came back, maybe Prosecutor Delgado wasn't prepared for the grand jury to come back so quickly with a yes indict, because sometimes they can take longer. In the other case that I'm covering, they've had a grand jury impaneled for like 3 years.
Oh my.
Yeah. But this is a different type of grand jury than that. There's different types, and there's different stipulations in different states as well. I'm not going to try to claim to understand it all. I'm just glad that. So basically what happens is the prosecutor presents his case, and, and they're looking for that a jury of your peers would find enough without any doubt that this person committed the act that they're charging him with. So they just want to make sure that it's just a way that the system can work. And I think grand juries are phenomenal. I don't know why more counties don't use them. And I think that yeah, he did at the very end of Prosecutor Delgado's, I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yes.
But I think that, he had even said that of like, I plan on using
Sounds right.
grand juries more often in moving forward in White County. And I think when I talked to him on the phone, he was just like, it was just like a breath of fresh air, of like, dealing with Bob has just been not a fun trip. Just not a fun guy, not a fun guy. But,
No.
This guy was just like so sweet, and he didn't have to, reach out to me. Like, and I just thought, like, just overjoyed at since Tuesday. I've just literally been like, my family's so sick of me because I couldn't tell anybody. So I've got to tell, the one person that like my kid and my man, like I told them because it's like, they don't have anybody to tell. Like they don't care about true crime in the least. This is my baby and they support me. And like, I got to tell them I didn't even tell them about the grand jury. I just told them that I got a call from the prosecutor about one of the cases that I've been covering. And he was so nice and just uplifting and like such a nice man, and that he's been working hard for Ray and he's hoping to give him justice. And that's what he told me on the phone. And so I got to tell them that, and they were like, just, like, okay, sounds awesome. But my daughter remembered Ray, from all the times that I've talked about Ray, and like, she knew, it's impacted. And like, I really do what you'd said earlier, Miss Dottie, about, when someone is murdered, it's not just there are these families of these murder victims. They do not want to be here. They do not want to be the murdered person's family. You know, you don't ever want to be the victim's family. And no one deserves to be murdered. And everybody that is murdered deserves justice, and their own justice, not to be shared with anyone else. I think that is something that Miss Dottie has, and Cher and their family has been working for all this time. And it's looking like the time is now, you know. It's just, sound is better all around. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I give credit to Mr. Delgado. Things went smooth, I think, because he had done a thorough investigation. He had all the information that was pertinent to the case, and it was just laid out step by step for the grand jury. And I think that's why it went so smooth with them today.
Yeah. He, I'm glad you guys have him now. And I think that I'm still going to reach out. I might reach out to him tomorrow, since, you know, like, this news was dropped tonight. And he gave us a statement, and just he said I could, you know, he had told me to wait till Monday, but, you know, I'll call tomorrow, and, you know, we'll keep everybody up to date. Right now, he has been, the jury moved forward and said that he should be indicted for murder, intentional killing of another. We don't have levels of, like, Indiana does things a little differently. So if you're from a different state, you're probably used to murder in the first degree, murder in the second degree, murder in the third degree. Well, in Indiana, we have just plain old, it's just called murder, intentional killing of another. And that's what he's been charged with, not manslaughter, not any kind of, you know, this is the highest charge that he can be charged with in the state of Indiana. This is the biggest one that you want, the one that he is guilty of. And allegedly, I guess we should say, but I don't think I use that very often. You know, he's confessed to this already, and it's been a long road to hoe, but he's also been charged with theft, 2 counts. They indicted him on 2 counts of theft. So what will happen is next week, the prosecutor will write up a charging affidavit, a charging document, and then it will be filed with the, you know, the judge will review that. And then obviously the judge does, you know, like, hopefully they agree with the prosecutor. Most of the time they do. And there will be a probable cause affidavit released, and a charging document, more than likely. They may seal that. Sometimes that happens. But we will see a charging document show up in my case, I would say maybe into next week, by, you know, anytime really it's going to want to get that in, and then, you know, they'll just move forward. And this just gives the prosecutor the confirmation that if we move forward and we do this now, that more than likely a jury of Garett Kirts' peers will find him guilty in the murder of Ray Hanish, you know. And so they did, and that's, you know, more than likely what's going to unfold in the next few weeks. Will just be, you know, trying to keep everybody up to date. And I just ask that you respect Miss Dottie. You know, they didn't ask to be in this position. They don't want to be here, but they are. And they're here because Garett Kirts ended the life of their son way too soon. And they just need some space, just they're trying to wrap their head around this. There's not a lot more that can be said at this time. So we just want to, let them know that we're here supporting them, and they wanted to say a few words to you guys. Ivy had a question. I don't think theft is, I don't think that's in the, I know what you're asking, Ivy, but I don't think so. It is an aggravating circumstance, but it can also be charged. So say that theft during the commission of a murder, you could get an extra 10 years on the sentence for each one, 20, whatever the, like, I don't know for theft in the state of Indiana, what the recommended time served would be on that. I mean, I would assume that it's 6 years, probably the same as like assisting a criminal, like the other ones that she's asking if it's felony murder. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just not said that way in Indiana. So we don't have felony, like felony 1, felony 2, felony 3 murder. We have murder. It's just flat out the word murder. And then when you read the Indiana code, you can look it up for yourself. Like it says intentional killing of another. And then there's 3 subsections, and they haven't added. We don't know what the charging document says, but we do know that the jury has said, charge him with theft as well. So it'd be an aggravating circumstance. It would be more time added on to whatever they charge, whatever he is sentenced to for murder. So,
Oh, sorry. Question for you. Just one more question. And then I'm sure Dottie wants to go eat her dinner soon. The tape that Open Secrets talked about, that Ham had talked to Shar, that said that she had, did that ever make it to the prosecutor's office? Do we know?
Can you ask it again? I'm sorry.
The thumbnail that Open,
the
thumbnail that Open Secrets.
Yeah, the tape that she had, where she said she had it recorded, that Garett Kirts confessed. Did that ever find its way to the prosecutor's office? Do we know yet? Or are you not?
No, I don't know. I don't know if these investigators found it or not, because it should have been it was done from the jail, so they should have record of it. But I don't know if they pulled that or not.
All right. Just make sure they're aware of that. Don't forget as well, because that would be very important, that tape.
Because
that's a good point.
She never sent them to me.
Yeah, she just kept saying, like she thought she was big stuff, and if they wanted it, they could just come watch her YouTube. And I'm like, hello? Like, she legit told me that. Like, she got on my last nerve. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, like, you just don't do that. This is a family that you should be trying to help, and you're just out here for clout, and I'm over it. I was over it then. I'm still over it. You don't tell, if a family asks you for something like that, you give it to them.
Exactly.
If you're any kind of a stand-up human being, you provide that with them. And she just flat out wouldn't do it. Like, it's annoying. And she had edited it so much that they wouldn't have been able to use it anyway, because it can't be altered. It can't be altered. But the thing is, on the flip side of that, Robert Guy was made aware of it. We don't know if he ever subpoenaed it from the Newton County Jail.
Yeah,
we don't know. Maybe he did. Hopefully he did. I know that I personally, I brought it to his attention, and I think in an email. I'll have to go back and look. But we had a detective in Newton County that really cared about Ray. And he talked to us about Ray, but he was in Newton County and his hands were tied. Same with the prosecutor in Newton County. His hands were tied. Like, I'm sure that those 2 men right tonight are jumping for joy along with us.
Yeah.
Some really awesome people over in Newton County, and he just did such a good job. And like I made him aware, you know, like, so hopefully they do have it. I pray that they have it.
Yeah. Radar, what Open Secret says and what she does are two different things. Okay. You know, I've experienced that with Open Secrets. I liked the work she put out. Okay. Because nobody else had done that. But she couldn't keep her word if her life depended on it, to be honest with you. She never kept her word to me ever. So with that, but I don't respect that. But when it's something to do with the family and stuff like that, exactly. It's you make sure that that gets into the hands of the authorities, you know, like the raw, uncut version that she would have had. But anyways, she couldn't keep her promise. I just, you know, and Shares kept saying she was going to give it. And, you know, so I just wanted to know if that had found its way, or if not, just make sure that they still are aware of that, because maybe they can get the raw, uncut footage from that time. Who knows?
Yeah, of course they didn't want to hear it, but they wanted it because they wanted justice for their son. And for her not to move heaven and earth to get them that so that they could have it for themselves is just, I'm sorry. I just think that's really, really shitty. And, you know, and I can just remember how panicked the family was, and for her to just keep jacking us around. You know, they asked, I asked.
Don't do that to people.
You just don't act like that. And so like, I just get so sick of hearing about her and her stupid interviews. Because I just, you know, it's just one of those things. We've all seen it in this community. Just, you have the people that genuinely do care, and then you have people that just want the subs and the clickbaits and stuff. And that was my first clue with her, that I was like, I don't want to have anything to do with her. She was like, well, I'll come on your channel to give you some clout. And I was like, I don't give a flying fork about clout. I don't even really know what it is. Like, I do this because like, this matters. These lives mattered. And there should be more. And it infuriates me when a case is only get attention from me. It's so upsetting, because it should be in major media, you know, and that's why I always like crowdsourcing with other people, you know. And it's, you know, people coming out of the woodwork when something blows up is not the same as the people that were here, like all of you in the chat. You know, these names are not they're everybody that's here. You know, there's people here that have followed Ray's story from day one. And, you know, like,
well, hopefully it picks up in the media. I mean, I sent it to Nancy Grace, Jennifer Coffin, Daffer on my Twitter and stuff like that. But hopefully it picks up in the media. Again, bring Ray's case to light. And if anyone maybe comes forward from it at something that they have something to say, you know, then all the better. Because this case has been kind of swept underneath the rug. You know, it's not like some of the other cases out there that just, you know, hit the limelight so fast. But this one, a lot of people, you know, if it wasn't honestly for your channel and some other channels and this channel, most people wouldn't even know who Ray Hanish was anymore, you know. But then you remind them, and then people are like, you know, who's this? Well, you know, it was somebody that deserved his justice, and he's like anyone, a human being. But we all know that you know, certain stories hit and other ones hit, and then that's it. And you know, so hopefully it hits back up again, to be honest, and that anyone that does have information will come forward that was part of it or knew about it or something. Who knows?
Right. And no, you know how I get going, Southern Lady. It's nothing like, I don't like sub, you know, like I am kind. I try to be kind to everybody, but when someone I get on, you know, like, and she just did, I don't think that I'm like, you need to apologize to me. Like, I get it. I listen to all of Open Secret stuff too. Like, of course I did. I was forced to. It drove me nuts, but I did it. And like, you know, it's just how I get, and I just popped off at the mouth. But I don't take it back, because it's the truth. You know.
her information was one thing, and how she acted was a different thing.
Right.
I the information I listened to over and over many times, but as for respect for her and how she never kept a promise, and stuff like that, no respect whatsoever. I just respect the fact that there was some information there that she did get. So
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, there were things, and that's why it was like, it just crushed me, because I know that, like, because it was edited, like all of the editing that she did, like it's not admissible in a court of law anymore.
Yeah.
And like, I was just, but someone, Ivy, I just had it up there here,
Hopefully
this
someone
comment
has-
here.
Yeah.
So those calls are kept for 5 years. So hopefully they can be used, guys. So hopefully, I will call him tomorrow. Okay. And I will remind him of that. Thank you for reminding me. I totally spaced all that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Kept telling me she had thumbnail
yeah.
of Kurt's confession, but never would send it to me.
And also Christopher
Then we
Mathis.
even offered to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else that could have done something
Right.
for you instead of causing you grief and more heartache. Do the right thing. She didn't
Well
do the
said.
right thing. But yeah, so sorry. What were you going to say as well?
Oh, just, like, well said to you.
Chris Mathis, you were saying?
He had kind of touched on it in those videos too, and she said
Yes,
she
he
had
did.
more on that too, and
Yeah.
never heard a peep from her. But yeah.
Well, I appreciate being here with you guys, to be honest with you. Thank you so much. So, like, I'm not, whenever you're done, you're probably done the live here soon, but I just want to say to Dottie, Sharon, and Roxanne and the rest of the family, like I said, my heart truly goes out to you. But at the same token, I'm happy that this is moving forward for you, exactly what you've been fighting for. And as sad, you know what I mean? Like I said, I can barely talk right now, to be honest, because I just want to, cry, because I keep thinking of Ray Hanish in my head as I'm saying it, and somebody that deserved to be here still, but he's not. And we can't turn back time, but we can fix, hopefully, what lies ahead, and that Garett Kirts or whose ever other involvement is, whatever, just justice for Ray. Justice for Ray. He deserves it.
I don't know, Miss Dottie, can you see some of the comments that I'm putting up on your screen? Kim says, God is good. My condolences on your loss, ma'am. There was some more earlier that I've missed, but
yeah, I can't see them. They're too tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's just really a matter of time and seeing what plays out. You guys, obviously this has, impacted you in I hate to say a good way, because meaning the fact that you actually heard that there was charges getting laid. So that I'm happy for you for that. This time has finally come in the midst of all your sadness.
Mm-hmm. And then,
that.
like I can remember you guys, because I did a whole entire episode, and I encourage everyone, if you don't listen to anything else, listen to the Getting to Know Ray Hanish. It's the very first episode in the series that I did, and I had Miss Dottie share Rox, and I read a statement from your other daughter, and what she wrote was so beautiful. And I read it on there, and it just basically, like, you get the spirit of Ray through his family, and his light still remains. And and that's why I chose that for one of the thumbnails for him, because he was just such a light in this world of a lot of darkness, and that he left his mark on this world and showed so much love and openness to helping people. He did it for his profession, and he did it in his daily life with his friends. I mean, I had so many of his friends reach out to me and be like, let me tell you about my friend Ray, you know. And I interviewed some of them on the episode as well. And I've gotten to meet so many people that Ray touched their lives. And you can't help but love the spirit of someone like that, that soul that is just good to their core. And that's why, like, this case grabbed a hold of my heart, was hearing about Ray. I mean, just looking at his Facebook page, you could tell, like, this is a special guy. His little niece, sent videos of how funny he was, how, like, he was just a very generous, loving uncle and friend and son. And, you know, like, there just isn't enough people like him in the world. And so when one of someone that is that special leaves this earth too soon, you know, the echo of that is felt for such a long time, you know. And so we're just really happy that you guys are finally looking down to, it's going to be a long road. I think you guys are, you know, you got to see that firsthand with what Cheryl and her family had to go through to get justice for Nicole. But, you know, this is the first step in the next part of your journey. And while you will never get a full closure, this is justice, and this is what is deserved, and meeting it out is what we want to see happen in the next year or so.
Well, that makes me want to ask a question. Dottie and Cher, so let's say Garett Kirts is found guilty. Now, obviously they got 55 years for Nicole Bowen, for his part in Nicole Bowen's. Is there, if it was 5 years he was given, for instance, and the fact that he was found guilty, would that still upset you, or would you just be happy in a sense for the fact that finally at least he paid the consequences, or would that upset you? What is it that in your head you have are thinking about, like, that he will get another 20 years perhaps if he's found guilty? I'm just wondering what you will deem as your satisfaction, even though there's no true satisfaction.
Well, that would upset us because that's what he...
Go ahead, Cher.
Ma.
No, I was just going to say
that would upset us because that would... Okay, go ahead.
I was waiting. I don't know. I hope they don't have this sentence concurring with what he's presently serving.
Right.
I'd like to see it added on to the sentence that he is serving now.
Yeah.
I would feel that was justice, because if they have it concurring, then
right.
He's really not doing any time for Ray if it's going to be included in his time serving now.
Right.
100%.
That's just my opinion.
Well, I agree. It needs to be consecutive. Yeah.
Obviously, we want him to get more than 5 years, because that's all he was going to get for homicide. So that's why we wanted to go for murder, to get more.
And just from memory, so if I'm off by some, I hadn't had much time to prepare today, but 45 to death is the recommended sentence for intentional murder in the state of Indiana. The average of that, like what they usually ask for the most, is 55 years. But if it is concurrent, then it's pretty much useless in my mind. So definitely consecutive, because you got to remember that Garett Kirts was only 21 when he went to prison and started serving his sentence for what he did to Nicole Bowen. So, and in Indiana, I think it's 85% of the sentence is what he would have to serve before, 65% before he's up for parole. So I will get all of those definitive facts for you guys next week, but he could get out on parole for the murder of Nicole Bowen and still have an entire life because he was so young when he committed all of these murders right in a row. So we definitely want that sentence to be consecutive because, you know, it's unfortunate that, like, and honestly, when in the state of Indiana, it's almost better that they do it by 55 years, 45 years, 65 years, whatever they decide, because a lot of states will just, and I think it's super shady and I don't like it, but they will just say life. This person received a life sentence. Well, usually that means they got 20 years, but they don't say that to the families. They just say, you know, like, the life sentence, and then the family is taken aback by the fact that they're up for parole, you know. 15 years later, you're like, well, like, what? You know, and it's just so I think that that's, you know, a difference in the state of Indiana is like they don't just say, you know, they got life unless they receive life without the possibility of parole, which means when they say that in the state of Indiana, like, they will never come up for parole. They will never go before a parole board. The family does not have to worry about them getting out on their sentence. But then if this does go to trial, he can appeal any sentence. If he confesses to the murder of Ray Hanish and he is given a decent amount of time, that's really the best outcome because of the appeals process. It's just torturous for families to have to go through this because it's like they're already dealing with the death of their loved one and the tragic way that they were taken from this world and the heinous way they were taken. And now they have to be subjectified to appeals courts and the criminal, the one that did these heinous things, having all of these rights within the system. You know, it's a double-edged sword sometimes. And so, you know, I think that I hope that he, and just, you know, like I can remember when Ms. Cheryl gave her victim's impact statement to Garett Kirts in court, and he wouldn't even look at her. And I mean, and she slammed her hand down and was like, you look at me, and made him look at her. And then he did testify in Ashley Gar's trial, and he was just a smug, like, I'm here, you know, literally looking at Cheryl, smiling at her, you know, like, you're, oh, he was just so
obnoxious.
Oh my gosh. Just no remorse whatsoever. No shame. No, you know, just like.
No, but you know what? The thing is that, I mean, he's the one on the inside. Everyone else is on the outside in a sense, you know? So he can be smug all he wants, as hopefully he's dropping bar after bar of soap in there. Personally, is my thoughts. So he could, I can picture that smirk as you're saying it, because he does, right? But you know what? Like I said, I don't know why these people do these things knowing that they're going to end up behind bars. You know, like, really, is it a risk or a person's willing to take? Apparently he is, more than once for it. So again, hopefully it's not, hopefully it's consecutive and not concurrent to what he has for Garett Kirts. And again, I'm sorry you guys have had to go through all this because of someone such as Garett Kirts in your life, you know, that have come into Ray's life. So just for me, prayers, you know, for you and your family. And I know you guys probably want to get going, I'm sure. I know Dottie was wanting to eat dinner, and you guys, just so you know, Mel, I'll be hopping off soon, and Jamie Hicks, I can answer you that when I'm back in our live over there. But so my final thoughts for you, Dottie and Cher, are, again, you know, we'll just stay up to date with what's going on. But most importantly, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about justice for Ray Hanish and, you know, keeping his memory alive, and just knowing that, you know, again, what was done to him deserves, of course, all the justice in the world. But he was a beautiful spirit. Anyone with a brain cell could tell that you just had to look at him and he just shone light. Simple as that. Sean Lane, good person, good-hearted person. Yeah. So to both of you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you, Sunny. Sharon, I didn't mean to cut you short. You didn't get a chance to give, what you would like to see.
Oh, yeah, I did. After
She
you
answered.
was done, I did.
Well, you started to, and then you said, "Go ahead, Mom," and I was afraid I'd cut you short. I'm sorry. I said we don't get to pick and choose, but I would like to see his sentence be consecutive, and I would like to see no chance of parole. But I was surprised that they didn't do that with Nicole's case.
Yeah.
So, but we don't get to pick and choose that.
With him being a repeat offender, maybe there's some help.
Yeah, they I mean, they will use, he's murdered, he's already serving a sentence for Nicole Bowen as a aggravating circumstance. So you have aggravating circumstances in when they're looking to sentence the person. This comes into the sentencing phase, and like you have aggravating and you have mitigating. And mitigating is like, his age would be a mitigating. I can't think of any other good thing that would be on the mitigating side, but aggravating would be theft. 2 counts of theft. Aggravating would be the fact that he murdered Nicole Bowen and he strangled her. So like those things will be able to be used. And that was one of it. I feel so bad. I am totally drawing a blank on the prosecutor in Kentland or Newton County's name. What's his name? Like
Robert
I should
Guy?
know it. No, that's White County.
Yeah,
I'm talking about in Newton
Who,
County.
Robert? Oh, no. Oh, okay.
He's brilliant.
Sorry about that.
Is that?
Jeff Drinsky, prosecutor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It just totally went out of my head. It's been a long day, but yeah, like talk about a brilliant man. Like he did like watching him pull together that trial was so awesome. But yeah, like he had said, like it's frustrating because Ray was murdered first, so if Robert Guy had done like his job, they would have been able to use that as an aggravating circumstance and then seek life without the possibility of parole for Garett Kirts. But now I hope that we're going to see it roles reversed. And he got 55. He took a plea by agreement for the murder of Nicole Bowen. And hopefully with Ray, it will be life without the possibility of parole, because this is and the FBI has even changed their profile on, like it used to be 3 with a cooling off period to name someone a serial killer. And it has been dropped down to 2. And I think a lot of that has to do with technology is so advanced nowadays that they're not getting away with becoming a full-blown serial killer. Well, Garett Kirts would be considered a serial killer.
Absolutely.
Once he is once he has been found guilty of Ray Hanish's murder, he is a definition of a serial killer. There was a cooling off period between 2 murders. And this is a guy that also, this is my research, my opinion. This is just how I feel. I feel that he definitely killed Stephen Masterson. I just feel it in my heart that he had something to do with his death. It would be vehicular homicide.
His friend?
Yes, Steve Masterson. I 100% think that he was behind him that day. in his truck, and they had been in a fight, and Stephen had called him out on his bullcrap. And then Stephen ends up wrecking on the same corner with him happen to be behind him. Like, come on, like, you don't get that many coincidences. And he called the police and then he ran. Hello, like, there's just things that I wish that they had taken a deeper look at in Brookston with the death of Stephen Masterson. And it weighs on my heart. Like, it weighs on my heart. And, so that was in I can't remember now if it was like 2014 or 15. I believe that that's when that happened. And, I just think he killed him. And I hope that they will look into it,
kind of like the Murdaugh case when they're reopening up Stephen Smith's case. Maybe the same thing could happen for him. What's his name again? Stephen Masterson. Is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know about it. Just I keep hearing Mathis in my head.
Right.
But anyways, yeah. So maybe the same thing could happen.
Motorcycle. Yeah, it was a motorcycle that just happened to go off the road. Like, come on. So when we're looking at Garett Kirts, he definitely deserves to be behind bars for the rest of his life.
People should be grateful that he's behind bars. I'm sure a few other people would have not been living right now if he wasn't. Absolutely. He was definitely on his way to being an SK, even though I saw him as an SK already. And unfortunately, it wreaked havoc in your life, Nicole Bowen's life. I'm sure that's going to come to fruition, that he knows answers to Delphi. Whether or not he was involved is a different story, but it has answers there. Like, he just is always at the center. Him and Ashley are just always the fingers always keep pointing to those two, but especially Garett, because obviously there's no proof about Ashley as that we know of for this case. But
they're like, those two, when they met, it's I've covered some duo couples, and like with pulsar stars, when they get in, when stars are dying and they get into the galaxy or the what is that called? I'm drawing a blank. I mean, these are simple science things. I just can't think. No, like when pulsars, like a pulsar star is created when two stars but they enter each other's gravitational pull. And instead of dying, they become in this vortex of back and forth until they either turn into a black hole or they fizzle out. But and then when these two met and collided, it's like a freaking black hole disaster of where they just both on their own were just full of evil intent, just not good.
And then they collided together.
And they collided and they created basically it's an atomic bomb or a black hole, and that's what happened. And, would it surprise me to find out that Ashley Garth didn't speak up, didn't try to, didn't tell on Garett Kirts for murdering Ray? 100%.
Yeah.
Do I think that she's going to do the right thing and testify if she knows anything at his trial, if it benefits her?
If it benefits her.
Selfish as they come. And if she does know anything, I think that, that was part of the reason why Nicole Bowen was killed. I mean, that's just my feeling. I know they said different, but I really do think, based on Nicole's activity on Facebook and when she was calling and how scared she was, and like calling her family and her sister, she called her sister, and she had something to tell them, and then she was dead. Like something was really bothering her before she was murdered.
It played into it for sure. I mean, I know in Ashley Garth's appeal, it had said, I'm hearing myself echo somewhere. I know in Ashley Garth's appeal, it said that they had been talking about murdering Nicole Bowen months prior to when it actually happened. And then Ray's came about. I'm sure that it had something, obviously, to get rid of somebody that would turn them in or speak. And so I heard that there was threats on her her Facebook from Garett Kirts prior to him taking her life. So, like I said, I'm sure that Ray was, because of Nicole, again, was going to probably say something. I'm sure that had a big amount to do with it, and just basically getting rid of somebody that's going to do damage to them, but pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's just
he's just a POS. He's just a piece of trash who deserves everything that gets thrown at him, to be honest with you. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for people that take other people's lives.
No. Do you have any last things you want to say before we go out tonight, Miss Dottie? Can you hear me? Miss Dottie, do you have any last comments you want to say?
I think she fell asleep.
No, I'm sorry. Yes.
Do you want to say anything on your final?
No, I don't think so. I just, again, I just can't thank you girls enough for all that you've done. Not just tonight, but for 4 years, and it's just means so much to our family.
Well, we love you, so
yeah.
We're glad you came tonight. Thank you for coming and being here with us and sharing, this very it's, these types of situations are called oxymorons, where they're tragically happy, like it's a tragedy, but we can, have some happiness in this little win that we saw today. So Cher, do you have anything you want to say before we go?
I just want to thank everybody for their support, standing behind us through all this.
Yeah.
I mean, for 4 years, we've had so much support,
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, everybody.
And if everyone can share Mel's live here to your social media. Sorry, Cher.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Are you going live later tonight?
Well, we already are live, so I'm going to be hopping off here, and then in a couple of minutes, I'll be joining Adam over there. So if you want to join us over there, Mel, go ahead. Yeah, as for Dottie and Cher, again, go get some rest. I'm glad to hear this news, even though I know it wasn't supposed to come out yet. And Dottie, go have some dinner. I know you guys are ready. We're going to have some dinner.
It's a long day for them, yeah.
Yeah, a long day, and hope a day that's, to come, some justice for Ray Hanish. So, hugs. Love you both.
Thank you so much. Ginger's before you guys. Ginger's sending some love to you guys from It's a Criming's chat. Hey, Ginger, we love you.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of love, girls.
Nicole Bowen's aunt. So yeah, she's awesome. Been through a lot. A very strong lady. She's amazing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, chat. Thank you for your support of this beautiful family and being so kind in the chat and all of the love that you have sent them. It helps. And please join the Justice for Ray Hanish Facebook group and subscribe to both of our channels. And we're definitely going to be, this is going to be, I know, for It's a Crime and Shame and Cold Truth. This is a case that we are going to cover from, this isn't going to go away. We're not going to just do like a live about it and then it's over. Like, we have been consistently talking about Ray Hanish, and we're not going to stop. So please please like, please share. It does help, because we want, when we can get the major media's attention, like, that's when things get done that really help these families. So we're just like a stepping stone and crowdsourcing. And that's what I love about It's a Crime and Shame. They're always willing to crowdsource and to build other channels up so that we can share it on multiple platforms to reach the most amount of people. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you, Sunny, for being here. Miss Dottie, Cher, love you guys so much. I will talk to you later. Have a good night. Thanks for holding down the fort over there, Aspen.
Thank you, Adam.
Sending love.
Okay.
You too.
Good night.
Got it.
Good night.
Night, guys. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're well.
Okay, guys. Oh, let me shut that off. Okay. I feel really big all of a sudden. Well, so what did everyone think of that? I mean, I'm honestly glad that I wasn't on camera for most of it, because it made me really emotional for part of it. And I just, I mean, I did not expect this to happen, and I'm so happy that it has. But and I mean, what two incredible women were. I mean, Dottie and Cher are I mean, they're just amazing. And I can't imagine the strength they've had to endure over these last 4 years, or 5 years almost. But I mean, I think that, hopefully this is going to mean that, there can finally be justice for Ray. Because I know for the first several months, I mean, well, until Richard Allen really, came into the picture for Delphi, we talked a lot about Garett Kirts on this channel and his, network of friends, if you will. And for me, I mean, what happened to Nicole Bowen was so heartbreaking as well. What that girl endured, no one deserved. And again, thank you, Ginger, for coming and watching with us tonight. But I've always maintained that Ray was the case that I really didn't know if it would ever get justice because of how the investigation was handled. And I really didn't. One, I didn't know there was a new prosecutor in that county, and two, I really just questioned whether or not there was going to be justice for Ray. So I mean, to get
in a sec, okay, Adam? Give me a sec. Okay.
Who does she think she is?
Yeah. Funny.
But I did question whether or not there ever would be justice for Ray, and nothing because of what happened to him wasn't horrendous, but mainly just because of how the case was handled. I mean, and it's not, I'll be honest, I don't think that, without a confession, I don't know how easy of a road it's going to be, but I at least have hope now, and I didn't have that as much before. So what did you all think of the interview and hearing from Miss Dottie, who I'm in love with, and Cher, who Cher's been on this channel before, back in like December of 2021, I think.
Yeah. She was on it last year.
Was she? Okay.
Yeah. She was talking, and I had spoke to Dottie not that long ago, and we were talking about this, and at the time we were gonna, I was wanting to talk with Roxanne and Cher and Dottie together to kind of like, get the story of it, but I didn't have a clue that this was going on, of course, up until today, like you guys. And I was getting a live ready, and then I sent out messages to the family and Mel and said, like, is true or false? And I sent them a little piece of it. Hey, Mel. And I sent them a little piece of it. And then they had said that like this information was going to get released on Monday. And I personally was talking with Mel and Cher and Dottie, but I felt that, because it's already hitting out there and people are gonna, speculate and say, let me just ask Cher, Mel, to do a live and get ahead of it and basically hear it from the family if this was true or false. And that way, the family, because this is their son. This is their son.
Their brother, their son.
Yeah, son, brother, exactly. So, yeah, the next thing so it all happened rather fast today. You know, very, very excited because I literally was just thinking, like I said the other night, that I don't know if Ray's ever going to find his justice.
Right.
So this was like, through a tragic event, this was like great news to hear that this is going on. Garett Kirts, thankfully is behind bars because who knows what else he could have done to other people. But in this particular case for Ray, this is about Ray. It's, Nicole again got her justice, but it's justice for anyone that had, really that Garett has impacted their lives in such a horrendous way. And Dottie and Cher, like I said, beautiful people, just really just kind, caring individuals, And yeah, I mean, that was the first time I believe I had seen Dottie on. I had spoken with her, on Messenger, but that was the first. And then I thought she accidentally made a mistake ringing me, but so to be on a live with a Dottie as well was great. And I'm so glad that things are moving forward. Big scan code posted. Did you do that?
Sorry.
Someone's playing.
Well, I had taken that down at one point because we couldn't see some of the highlighted chat.
Did you send Mel a link if she wants to come on, by the way?
But I absolutely can.
Yeah, and just in case she wants to join us on here as well. Yeah, hey guys. Thank you guys for coming over to Mel's channel. Very important again. Share the links, share them, share them with WHTR News, share them with, anyone that you have on your Twitter, Facebooks, or whatever. Again, Fox 59 News, especially if you have a Twitter account, easy at WHDR or WTHR at Fox 59 News at, and just share, okay? Let's do this for Ray and Ray's family and get his case back into the news where it belongs. And again, because if this helps promote that somebody else comes forward with knowledge or something about Ray's case that can add and benefit to the prosecutor, then please do that. He's a person just like anyone else, and he deserves the justice too. So that's what I'm going to ask of all of us today, is if we can do that. And again, this channel is not going to let Ray's case, this gave me that uplift I needed, because I was always very confused somewhat with the exact events of what happened. Somebody was making accounts though with Ray Hanish's email, like I said, multiple of them after he had passed. But I just want to ask you guys, please do your part and share it to your social media. Can you guys do that for us? Can you guys do that for the family? That would be amazing. There she is.
What is up?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen you in quite a while, but thanks for joining. It's been a while.
Yeah,
that was great. That was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, and thanks for co-hosting with me. And I'm glad that we got to do that together.
Yeah, meant a lot to me.
Full circle. So you've put out a lot of good videos for them, and you both care, and you have asked about Ray's family, and they're very special human beings, and they deserve the very best. Right. And we had kind of talked about everybody's, now that it's gonna, just like they did with Garett Kirts, and what happened with Nicole Bowen's family, and just they come out of the woodwork, and people are going to do what they're going to do, but you know, I will, some of them I'll go at in their chat every time. Like, I'm just very protective of Ray's family.
Absolutely.
I'm very protective of them. And like, you know, they're just, and Nicole's family, I just, they will always be a part of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate how we got here, but I have, I've talked to Cher like a couple times in the last couple of weeks, you know, like we still stay connected. And Miss Dottie, like we were just like, they're just, I can't say enough good about them, you know, and they're a reflection of Ray, like that.
Absolutely.
Who birthed Ray. And so you can only imagine how the world is just a little bit grayer since he was taken from it, you know.
I think Miss Dottie, just judging from the chat that was going on over here, I think Miss Dottie might have a little fan club brewing.
Oh, isn't her voice just so adorable? I mean, she's just the cutest.
I felt a little upstaged. I was like,
she is just an it bit of a little. She's so tiny and just so precious.
It was so cute. She was
the bond between her and Cheryl was just so cute to watch. I personally cannot stand that picture. It's like the worst angle ever, but whatever.
Right. And, you know, and I felt so honored that, you know, that Ginger was here with us the whole night hanging out.
Which, you know, good. I'm glad she was. Yeah. Ginger's awesome.
Thank you very much, Ginger.
Yeah. For me personally, when I think of Ray, so I got that Justice Fifth because, you know, we all know that Ray was, you know, gay, and I had done lots of videos. I did a really special tribute, and so that to me signifies, for me, that's my thing for Ray, is that fist that says Justice for Ray on there. And so that's why I had to make sure I had to go find it from my other video to find that picture, because that's what I always think of when I think of Justice for Ray, was that fist, you know.
Yeah,
just such a good, like, you just have to look at him. Like I said, you know, he's just, you know, he just oozes like kind of like Suzanne Morphew. They just ooze that aura of kindness and
just a light, just like some people are a light that, like, you know, you can see it long after they're gone, and after they're taken from this world. And I think Ray, I said it in some of the episodes that I did on him, like that what he had said about be careful as to not leave permanent scars on someone else's heart, you know. And that's just like, I don't think that it helped me to be mindful of the things that I do and the things that I say, whether it's on here or, you know, in my day-to-day life, because you know, I tackle every day just like I do this. I'm just very, you know, like, you know, when you have OCD, like diagnosed OCD, there's just things that you do a little differently. So, you know, like I just, I think that quote helped me so much. And he would write on his Facebook profile, he would write like just things. His about me was beautiful, and they just stick with you. And so someone that I never got to meet, he still impacted my life for the good of everyone that's in my life. And, you know, my children, everyone, you know, just of trying to remember to be mindful of that, and always try to send out love, but stand up for what is right. And a lot of people get me twisted, you know, they don't understand why I do the things I do and where my intentions are. And like, you know, you fight for what is right just as hard as you try to love and send out love. When something is offensive, you don't pass it on and like, oh, I don't want to be bothered. And that's just not ever who I'm going to be. Is like, if there is a wrong, then I'll be damned if I'm not going to use my voice to try to rectify that in any way that I possibly can.
Absolutely. That's why I admire you and I love you for that myself, because that's exactly, what I too exemplify. It's about what's right and what's wrong. This was wrong. I'm not the person to shut up and just turn my head on it at all. So I like that strength.
Like, I'll tell you, like, I can't help but wonder if, because I actively campaigned against Bob Guy. Like,
Bob Guy.
I did not, and it kind of makes me wonder if, like, because it was kind of strange getting a call from a prosecutor's office. I didn't even answer the first one. I didn't know who would be calling me from Monticello, Indiana. Like, I was like, oh, great. It's probably, something bad.
Right.
But then for him to call, and he was following up and just tying up loose ends, and just following up on something that I had sent in to Robert Guy that apparently he never even bothered to fork and open, and like 4+ years later, and just having a conversation with him, and like, he's like, well, like, are you still, like, how did you get, like, how did you come to be, basically, is what he's asking me, and like, what you do. And I'm like, I'm just like an unprofessional, like, fell into it victim family advocate. Like, I don't even know really how I got to be here.
You're a good one, though.
Like, well, are you still doing it? And I said, yeah, I've collected quite a lot of families at this point. And and he's like, it was just kind of like, it made me wonder if, like, maybe he did see something, because we just think that they don't ever watch our channels, or like, they're not really paying attention to little old us. At least on my channel, I don't think, like, it's
you never know.
But you know what? Like, if I just thought, oh, my voice is too small, I'm not going to bother, that's just adding to the pile of people that think that same thing.
Right.
And like, when we can, support each other and crowdsource, and
right.
There's just nothing better.
Right. And, I know people that have covered the case early on. I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, I want to say one thing first. This live is strictly about Ray Hanish. And like what Mel's talking about, this isn't about Grifto. I don't want this to be about Grifto whatsoever. That's a whole different ball of wax on there. Just because I know that's going to come up here. This is about Ray tonight, and about what Mel's talking about. I just want to make that clear. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just to say, I know people like, Mel, Incognito, Chaotic. I think our channels that covered the Ray's case early on, and then like, you add all of these voices together and it really makes a bigger difference. And and then Sonny. So I just have the utmost respect for y'all, and I appreciate making me aware of Ray's case, because I didn't know about Ray, until I met Sonny.
Right. Yeah, it's it's nice to have I don't know. Just, it's such a great community. There is obviously negatives to everything and the flip coin, but today is just like, today was a good day. This is what I never came into this thinking like, oh, I'm going to solve murders, or like, I'm going to find the killer and like, whatnot like that. I just, so like, for me today is just something that I started in it, when I was sent their Facebook messages out like minutes after they put them on Garett Kirts' Facebook profile. And like, we were in contact by the end of that day. And like, it's just been a beautiful relationship ever since. And they're just great people. And they deserve the best from this community. They really do.
Well, they've got two of them right there, right here. Support with Steph said, Mel, how far is it for the family to drive to the courthouse? Do you know?
Well, it depends. Like, Roxy, she's in, I think, North Carolina, I think. So, like, she'll probably come and stay with Miss Dottie. Depending on we don't know what's going to happen moving forward, and like, right now it's all just kind of like, okay, the grand jury has said, yeah, we think you have enough to indict him for murder and theft, but we haven't seen that charging document yet. We haven't seen the judge's signature on it yet. You know, there's still a lot that has to be meted out before we can just like, oh, you know, and then
it doesn't mean it's going to be an easy road.
He'll have his initial hearing, probably it's usually within a few days of the the charging document, and they'll have initial hearing. They have to. So there will have to be a transport order put into, signed by the judge for Garett Kirts to be transported to the White County courthouse. And then he will have his initial hearing, like arraignment, I guess you could call it, where he is read his charges and made sure that he understands his charges. And then he will be asked if he wants an attorney. And if he obviously is not going to have the funds for that. So again, the state of Indiana, the taxpayers will be paying for him to have an attorney. And, and then it'll just go from there. And they all seem to kind of play themselves out over it feels like forever. These trials can take, like with Ashley Garth and Garett Kirts and Talitha and all the rest of the delinquents that murdered Nicole. I do think that some of them will be called to testify. I think that especially with Parker, what's her name? Jasmine.
Yeah, Jasmine.
And Talitha. I think they'll be called. That's just my thought. I have no clue. I'm not, mm-hmm. I am just saying this out of like my personal research into the Ray Hanish case from what you can find publicly and what I have turned in and talked to investigators about. Like, I don't know. I could see a combination of a few of those delinquents being called as witnesses. As they should have done a long time ago. And I honestly think that I don't know what Guy's problem was, but it just felt like he had a problem, and just
lazy,
stubborn, and probably needed to retire 10 years ago, kind of a deal, just like, and the thing is like prosecutors it's an elected position and they are public servants, like they are elected by the people and to serve the people to mete out justice in a court of law. And so it's like, this is your job. Like, why are you being such a dick about it? Like, do your job. Like, he confessed, like, and the thing is like, they can tear apart what his excuse, and he just chose not to. So I'm glad that this prosecutor had, the kahunas to be like, yeah, no, not on my watch. Not on my watch am I going to let this, because what could happen and what the fear was is why we were getting really, like you guys heard Miss Dottie speak to it, of like, if God had to listen to us, because they were praying for him to just be charged with anything, because Robert Guy was so negative about it. And so murder in the state of Indiana, there is no time limit on charging someone with that. It can be 10 years down the road, 20, whatever.
Right.
But for manslaughter, it's not the case. And you've got, I think it's 5 years to charge them with anything less. If you're charging them with something less, there's a few things in the state of Indiana that don't have a time limit on it, but he was looking at charging him with voluntary manslaughter, so just like murder in the third, and that has a time limit of charging. So we're just kind of starting to freak out of like, they're not going to charge him with anything because time is coming. Next month is, I don't know, what month is it? So
we're in February. So next month.
Yeah, next month. Okay, I was right. I was like, is it still February? I don't know. It might even be March. But no.
Right. February of 2019 is when Garett and Ashley, the strangulation charges there. And March 13th is when they believe that it happened, but it wasn't. Ray Hanish wasn't found to the 17th, and Nicole Bowen was 2 weeks later, basically on the 31st.
Yeah.
The 30th.
And so, yeah.
30th, yeah.
This is from 2019. So what I'm loving right here, you guys, is that not only do we have Richard Allen in jail, we have Flint Farmer in jail, and none of them, of course, are found guilty yet, but it's really nice to see. And so hopefully other cases like Flora, you know what I mean? I mean, it's obviously in threes here so far. So it's really nice to see this happening.
Yeah, I would. There's so many great creators that have been covering Flora, and it's really starting to pick up some speed. And it is so well. It's so needed. That one was one that was just like this for me. It was kind of the same thing with like Delphi. When you have like things in your real life that overlap and it makes it hard to like cover it. But like that.
Well,
so many things.
I mean, Flora was one that Lisa from our channel knew a lot about. I know the gist of it, but again, especially Mel, when you're working and you got a lot of other things on your plate. Again, there's people like us who deep dive Delphi and know about Flora and talk about Flora, but not to the extent that other channels have picked up more on Flora. So there always has to be that nice balance out there, because again, a human can only do so much. You can only, it's not exactly easy to sit there and keep diving in and stuff like that.
It's a complicated case as well.
It is very complicated. It's very complicated. There's a lot of parts to it and a lot of misinformation.
And I wouldn't want to add to that. That's always been part of my hesitation, is I don't want to add to misinformation. And so, I mean, I feel like, if you don't know a case inside and out, it can be difficult to, add something to the conversation.
Besides shining light on it, but
absolutely, Sunny.
Yeah. Besides, like I said, Lisa has a lot of information from our show. I'm not even at that level of knowledge for the Flora case. And so, and like I said, so it's a balance across the true crime community. You have people that dig deep dive and have videos and stuff like that are way more knowledgeable about it. I know about it. I'm sad. I want justice, but I can't sit here and honestly say that I deep dive into it, because I just haven't. Because always Delphi, Delphi, Nicole Bowen, and Ray Hanish have always been in that circle of this case, and I couldn't personally put that much energy into Flora, because all the energy was being put into Delphi, Nicole, Ray Hanish, and it just felt like maybe if one was answered, then some others will get answered in a sense. And now we're seeing it where if Garett Kirts, which we've been talking about, right? Because we all know that he's responsible for Nicole Bowen, and everyone knew that he was responsible for Ray Hanish, but it was just a matter of being able to prove it.
Right.
And so, hopefully justice comes out of this for Cher and Dottie and Roxanne and the rest of the family. They've had enough tragedies in their life. And so it's nice that, this is coming about for sure. Absolutely.
What is the chat talking about 26 years or DNA?
They're talking about John Bonet.
They're talking about John Bonet Ramsey over there.
Oh, cool.
Someone made a comment, and then Ray made a comment. So,
it's funny. I never wanted to see Garett Kirts again. Like I was like, let him rot where he is. It was one of the first thoughts. I was like, I am so excited now to see his butt be pulled into that courthouse for that arraignment.
I know.
Absolutely.
And I know I'm gonna have to
he is suffering.
I'm gonna have to leave my little bubble here. I don't like to leave. I have townophobia. I don't know what else to call it. As soon as I leave my town, I start just having anxiety. I'm just slowly shutting myself in. But I'm going to go with them, and they do drive, for it's different for each one of them, but quite a while, and and they'll have to drive over for all of those hearings and things. And Cher doesn't drive, so we'll have to find a way to get her there again and make sure that happens for her. So yeah.
Now, sorry, how far is it for you to go, get to that the court?
To White County? I mean, I don't know. I think maybe like half an hour.
Okay.
And we know Garett Kirts doesn't like White County.
No.
Isn't White County one of the counties he said, oh, nothing like White County, that's bad over there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's it's a very small town. Like, well, there's a few towns within White County, but they're all like super small. Like lived was pretty small little town. Everybody knows everybody, kind of little towns like that. Rural. I can't say that word for nothing.
Rural?
It always comes up, like
Rural?
In all the cases
Rural?
I do.
Yeah.
I've never except for like Dakota Kelly. It's like, Indianapolis. The rest of them are all me trying to say rural. Like I can't get it out.
Pretend you have a banana in your mouth and just say rural.
You're so funny. Rural. Yeah, there's a bunch like I can't put W's together or R's. They just don't roll. But well, thank you guys. I just want to pop on, and I'm so amped that I'm not gonna sleep forever.
You right? What'd you say, Mel?
I was just so amped. I'm not gonna sleep, but my daughter's wanting to hit the sack.
Absolutely.
I'm in her closet.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, as you get information or whatever, then again we'll bring it forward to you. So excited that I'm hearing this news today again. Because I literally was just going, how sometimes you just feel like a case isn't going to go anywhere because of what had happened,
Yes, I do.
And so this is like done a 360 to me here. It's like, whoa, what? Okay. So great news. Thanks, Mel, for joining us.
On leaving, I was going to tell you, I've been listening to audiobooks, and I don't know if you've read it or listened to it, but To Catch a Killer by Billy Jensen. He's the one that does a lot with Paul Holes. Yeah. And he has this whole thing at the end of the audiobook. You guys have got to go because it's like exactly what we all do. And it's like giving you a guideline of how to sleuth and to use Facebook and Instagram and social media to crowdsource and to how to hashtag stuff. And it's like this whole because that's what he's done. He's an investigative journalist. And one of his things that he was talking about was the never do and the do's and the don'ts, and just it was so funny but one of his things was he had said, there's passion cases. Everybody has their passion cases. And I think we share our passion cases. We have that commonality for our channels. Yeah. And that's why it's nice to be here with you guys tonight. And again, thank you for coming on with me. You got to join us, Sonny, sometime, maybe venture out, maybe throw a comment in a chat somewhere on Chaotix Live and come over there. I don't know. Just
sometimes I'm in there. I just don't usually say things.
Well, if you said something, then we would be get your ass up here.
But I can't.
You don't you don't want to. You're just kind of throwing a cold shoulder on the late nights.
Her husband's usually asleep.
My husband's asleep, and so I can't really do anything. So usually what happens is I'm working on thumbnails or a video, and so I have it listening in the background. But usually I get distracted when I'm trying to work and then listen. So Adam, he's just like a night owl. But I've snuck in there a few times. But I know if I say something, then it will be get your butt on here. And I'm I can't. I could just...
Because my thing is I know that you are a lot like me, and we would get to hear all kinds of crazy, weird stories about you. They get to hear about me. And then those two don't even know what to do with me. They're just did she just say that out loud?
Pretty much me.
Right, Ray?
I know exactly how those would go. If
Grandma Watches was there, Fibro was there. Like, yeah, I really, you really got to know the weird side of Mel. So
no, but I would like to, like on a night. It's just like I said, because Chaotix is usually like really late when she does hers, and like I said, so there's no way that I can ever do one, even on a when my husband's off on the weekend, because it's still he still usually comes to bed around 11 or 12 even, but usually Chaotix are like like starting then. And I'm just like, can't even catch a break on, because I would join if but they're just so late that my computer's in the bedroom, like my husband's and his brothers are out there, mine's in here. So basically when my husband says he needs to go to bed, it means I have to, and he can't stand listening to my keyboard.
Right. I know. Have you guys been hearing my daughter like, oh, Mom, come on. Like, I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I did not.
Anyways, no, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye, Chad. Thank you for being here.
And I'm sure we'll be doing this more often with talking about Ray. So
absolutely. Now that we got something going on finally again, now we can, like I said, light those burners again for Ray, and know that again, just share it to you guys on social media.
And Mel, anything that the family needs, please share with Sunny and I, because
if they have a GoFundMe or something, to start, or even to start one up to help them out, again, and you guys, if you guys are going to say you're going to help them out, and put your money where your mouth is on it, okay?
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Take care. Bye, Mel.
Good night.
Okay, that was really nice.
I like this. I could get used to this, Sunny.
Yeah,
I could get used to this.
What, you being in like? Oh, yeah. Is that how you're feeling? Get back where you belong, mister. I always have to be on the left side. When you start off with something. So although I can handle change, I don't necessarily like change.
It was weird seeing you down in the bottom corner.
Yeah. Well, because I'm hiding behind those. Oh, I do want to say this. So my problem, I just want to say this because some of you guys are watching from last night. The problem with my Amazon, okay, and Mark, if you see this video, or I'll see when the problem with my Amazon is I had it for only shared. I didn't have it for public, and I didn't know that I had to put in my address and stuff in this box where it said manage list. So it does work, just so you know. It totally does work. I just didn't know that this is my first time, people. Okay. So I just didn't know that I had to add this stuff. So it doesn't show your address, but it will say like, Sonia and Steve Austin or whatever. And then the address is hidden, but it was me. It was me the whole time, Mark. My bad. I just didn't know. It was my first time even playing with that. I thought I didn't realize. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. I was going, this just doesn't seem right. I got to go to this managed list, and okay, just so you know. But anyways, hey, after all those M words, I'm still green, going strong.
I was reading about that today, and I was reading something about how so much of it really does matter in like the first minute or two of the video.
Correct. Well, so they say, but that's so right. In the first 30 seconds, basically, of a video, when you do a live, that's exactly kind of what sets the tone, but that's not necessarily the case.
Right.
Like I said, if it's consecutively being said over and over, like for instance, yesterday's live, heck, I played the freaking 911 call and all that stuff, it still stayed green. But once you also get what do you want to call it? Once you also gain back your green status, things turn green for you a lot faster. It's when you rate videos and that, and you're going, well, it's like any other video, so why wouldn't I rate it green? And then all of a sudden you guys deem it as yellow, and then it builds up, and then they start going, your channel has not accurately rated. When you've accurately rated your channel, then we'll basically give you back your more faster green status is what it means. Yeah. No, do you set your channel okay for children? No, you don't. If you set your channel OK for children, you wouldn't even be able to leave a comment at all.
Yeah, and that like makes it, then they'll check it even more stringently, and they'll want to put it on YouTube Kids.
Yeah,
Nothing we talk about is going to be appropriate for that.
Right. You always have to have it as not for kids, first of all. And if you put it for kids, and who would, you wouldn't be able to leave comments. It automatically stops the comments. Ours is sent for entertainment. There's different categories. I think Deb was saying like she had her set for like news and something, or whatever it was. Ours is set for entertainment that I think a lot of people use, but I don't really know. But when it comes to that part, it's like I have it that every time I make a live or video, instantly it's set, it's set to not for kids instead of having to click it each time. Yeah. But anyway, let's see, what are we at here? We're at 2 hours and 31 minutes. Oh, okay, another decently long live, eh? Considering I wasn't gonna have one, right, Michaela? Yeah, but this one I was just like, I was like I said, I was sitting there. And before I had contacted Mel or Cher or Dottie, I was like getting the live all ready. And I'm like, oh, it wasn't supposed to have been out. But then because I knew it was out, and trust me, it wasn't supposed to come out till Monday, then I'm like, oh, well, look at all the stuff that's going to come out between now and then. Let's nip it in the bud right away and just have the family come talk and say, instead of all this other stuff going on. So again, it's always nice to hear it from the actual sources, that have the information properly. So I just, I felt myself it was probably the best thing to do, even though, because I don't know how news and whatever it was, news and review, this Amy lady, I don't know how she got it, if she was told about it, loose lips, right? There's always going to be loose lips. So, I mean, it's out there. What do? You nip it in the bud right away, and have the family talk about their son, their brother, their family member, before it gets out of control by chance with speculation. I mean, don't get me wrong. For me, Garett Kirts, he knows about Delphi regardless. Whether he's involved, he knows about Delphi. I mean, Garett Kirts knows a lot. Chris Mathis knows a lot. Paladinos know a lot. You see, so when Ray Hanish this is what I was told, and I believe it was by Lewis. Yeah. When the Ray's his wallet was stolen, his TV was stolen, his car was stolen. The car, I just had, there's 14 people. Adam, can you do me a huge favor? Can you pull up the Facebook group for Ray Hanish? The one that Mel dropped in her channel there too.
Which one?
The Facebook one.
Am I part of it?
Justice for Ray Hanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those two items, right, or probably more, but the car and the TV were allegedly, they were found at Palladino's home. I think was it Jason Palladino's home or Mark Palladino's? Either way, Palladino's. And like I said, so these names just keep swirling and swirling around. That's why I still won't be shocked, because we've heard so much about the Palladinos in relation to Delphi, and Garett Kirts, even if it's just knowledge about it, Douchey knows. Adam was playing in chat. Adam, he always plays. Okay. Now that I'm home, now that mommy's home.
Wait, who said that? Who said that?
Squirrel. Nobody. Fibro. Critter. Sunny, do you think Garett Kirts' arrest for Ray's death could be a tentacle? Carroll County wanting everything sealed, and now GK is arrested. Well, we'll see what comes of that, because in my head, I'm kind of going, what you going to do? You know, are they going to try to barter him with information? But mind you, they could have bartered him by now already. We'll see what happens with this, because I'll be curious. Because again, right? Is he going to call out Ashley Garth by chance? How's this going to play out? Like, because Ashley Garth's phone was there. Now, you know, Ashley Garth, I believe, still is in the muddle of this with Ray.
And I'm not a member. I'm not a member, so it wouldn't open the group, but I sent it to you.
Oh, you should become a member.
I joined. Well, I tried. I hope I answered the questions properly.
That's good.
Do you know what the number one thing that comes up when you say Ray, when you type in Justice for on Facebook is?
What?
Brian Koberger. Sorry.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, get that off there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to hold on. Yeah. Oh, they never gave their Facebook group a name. It's just a number.
Was that not the one?
Hold on a second here. Let me just see.
Mel's a member.
Yeah. No. I see it, but you know, at the end of a Facebook group, you can put, say, you know, / Ray Hanish / It's a Crime and Shame.
Yeah.
In the groups type of thing. So.
Yep.
But you know, exactly. Let's see here. Okay, someone click on that and go join. Okay, you guys, can you guys do that for Ray? Okay, can we support Ray Hanish and Justice for Ray? Yeah. You know, and then you guys can get the latest news, you know, in the Facebook chat as well there.
100 people. I'm jealous. I'd like to sip on some whiskey.
Let's see. Deb sent it. Oh, you guys both sent it. Yeah.
Thank you, Deb.
You know, I should let them, or maybe Mel can tell them that they can put the name at the end of that if they wanted to, you know, and have Ray Hanish's name show up. But thank you guys. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Adam, for doing that. Joined. Perfect. You guys just keep giving your love and support. And if you guys can join that Facebook group, like I said, then you guys can get, you know, like this is their family that's in there, right? For Ray. You know, I'm in there, Mel's in there. And yeah.
So what are you, so I mean, I wish I'd asked this when Mel was on, but what are your thoughts?
For Mel, don't worry.
Okay. How much do you love me? No kidding. What are your thoughts as far as, I mean, like, cause I mean, I'm so happy for the family, but that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy road.
Nope. I'm here still. Give me a second.
Our best hope, in my opinion, or our best chance, in my opinion, is for the easiest road is that, you know, he would just, you know, confess. But, you know, we know that probably won't happen unless he gets a plea deal, which I don't know what,
you know,
I don't know what the state has, what benefit they would have in that, but
it depends what they have against him, to be honest with you.
That's what I want to know. But they did no investigation, remember?
Right. No, but maybe with the DNA. See, I mean, I know something about Ray that Dottie shared with me, but I'm not going to share that here. And, you know, so hopefully they have, I mean, the thing is that, okay, so they're obviously going to probably have Garett Kirts' DNA because he basically said that it was a consensual, you know, act of, you know, sex.
I think we all
yeah.
follow that line.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing is that it depends really what they have to push it forward. And the Robert guy, again, dude, so much disrespect towards his family on what he made them feel like and how he handled it. So kudos to Delgado guy. And, you know, again, just hopefully justice will come for Ray. Again, they, you know, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how it all works. At the end of the day, I just hope that Garett Kirts is charged. You know,
jumping jack.
And regardless, you know, the least you want to see is that he's charged with consecutive. You want it to be consecutive, not concurrent.
Right. And you know, and until today, I questioned whether that would whether there would be a charge. So anything from this point on is going to be, I'm going to be optimistic. Like I said before you came on, like I'm like, I didn't have much hope for justice for Ray, before today, and I feel it now.
Well, if I swung too big, if they have, if they potentially could get hold of the tape where he's confessing to open secrets and talking about it, again, and that's why we need to bring awareness, because if there's somebody out there that can add to the case for Ray Hanish, it's extremely important. That's why it's extremely important that the news runs with the story, so that people can go, oh, because it's almost like sometimes when a case gets lost and forgotten and only some people remember it, but then when you pack it in front of the news, right, just like any other case, if it gets covered, then obviously it brings more awareness. So I'm truly hoping for that. It really just depends on what they have, because they did not deem it as a crime scene. Okay, Ashley's phone, yes, was found at the apartment. The apartment was in disarray. It had cigarette butts, cups.
They didn't realize his TV was gone. How do you walk into an apartment and not notice the TV's not there?
Well, yeah. I mean,
the car was missing.
Yeah, basically what happened is, and this is the sad part of it, is that they basically deemed Ray was gay. And hey, when you live this lifestyle, like, this kind of stuff happens. And, obviously they were playing a game of, choke me, unchoke me, choke me, unchoke me, according to Garett. In a sense, really, I mean, because the fact that Ashley's phone was there and stuff like that, obviously he was kind of busted for being there. But then it became well, yeah, he said. So imagine, right? Oh, it was just an accident, but we're not going to call anyone and let them know it was just an accident. Instead, we're just going to leave his body rot in his apartment, and I always forget if it's an apartment or a home.
It was an apartment, I believe.
It was an apartment, this one. Yeah. And we're just gonna let it rot there. And hey, we're not gonna say nothing, right? Not gonna say nothing. Darn right, Ashley Garth had something in there, because it was through her phone that they were texting him, I believe, right? Because of the grinder. So darn right, Ashley is some way to me involved in this in some sort of capacity. Come on. Anywhere that Garett Kirts is, Ashley's dirty ass is there to follow. No word of a lie. So the thing is that they mishandled the case from the start. They didn't make it a crime scene. So there was nothing. They basically just handed them over the keys and said, here you go. Sorry. Clean up the mess. So it was through that cleaning up that I'm not sure if it was Roxanne, but let's just say Roxanne for the sake of it, that Roxanne or Cher came across Ashley's phone. Something about 2015. I can't remember. Either way, and it was almost like, like it was almost like they didn't care or something, that they had this phone there, almost like it couldn't. Well, I can't remember exactly. Like it hasn't been charged or something. So that's where I get confused with the rest of the story, because it was something about the phone, and it was almost like, like I said, it wasn't a crime scene. So here they have this phone, and they took the phone in, but I think it was almost like it was like, yeah, so, and, type of thing. And then 6 months later, it's when Garett Kirts, basically says, yeah, I was there. Yeah, it was a consensual sex thing. I mean, I know we stole stuff, and of course he didn't say that, right? But he stole the TV, stole the car, stole the wallet. I'm probably sure some more things there.
Trash the apartment.
It's like the car and the TV is found at the Paladinos.
Right.
The
bottom line, in my opinion, is law enforcement walked in.
Yeah.
They deemed what they saw something that was based on his lifestyle. They never looked at Ray as a victim. They never did an investigation. They didn't give an ounce of crap about him. And they didn't even begin to try to avenge what happened to him. I mean, we always heard this was an SEX act gone wrong, but that has to go really, really wrong to leave your face so bruised that you can't have an open casket. And I don't know how anyone that's trained in law enforcement could walk into a crime scene or an apartment, not even notice there's not a TV on the wall, the car's missing. I mean, there's so many things. They devalued him because of his life and who he was.
I had made him a beautiful tribute video, but I ended up having to take it down because, of course, it had a copyright strike. So back when I made it, I wasn't monetized, and then once it was monetized, it got a copyright strike. It's a beautiful video. I still have it. I would just have to put some generic music from YouTube, which is awesome. I'll probably repost it, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, I only have settings. 1 second here. Settings at present Windows.
I think you've done a couple for Ray.
Yeah, is it this one here? No, that's the live. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I can share this. Oh, no, can't do that. I always never know how to get that off when it does that.
I know. There was one point where you were streaming, and I was like, "Uh-oh, we're in a screen, in a screen, in a screen, in a screen, in a screen."
Yeah, like when I do this, does it go away?
Yeah.
It does?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, right here, there's Ray Hanish birthday, gone too soon. That's June 11th, guys. Ray Hanish birthday, Garett Kirts, Nicole Bowen. But there was a nice longer one. There's a whole, Delphi. So those are just the videos that are showing at the, with Ray at the moment. Like I said, I had to take some of them down.
Your studio's has a white background. You're not cool.
Say that again?
Your studio has a white background.
Yeah. Did you make yours cooler?
Yeah.
Are you special? Oops. So stop screen now. What color are you?
Black.
Oh, that's boring.
No, it looks so much better. It's so much easier to read, and it doesn't hurt your eyes.
I'm more of a sunshine person than a dark person, even though I got this going on. But it's kind of
like your husband would appreciate that dark background.
I hate dark mode. Yeah, I hate dark mode when it comes to like on my phone and stuff. I hate dark mode. I just like it to be white and vibrant. Like my husband, he's always like, "Can you turn off your computer?" Because it's like a big light bulb. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like. No, because actually, I like to have my computer on, to be honest, but I always got to turn it off, so it's pitch dark. But I'm not if it was like purple or pink or something, can I do that? Or is it just dark mode, light mode?
No, dark mode.
Yeah.
I've got to figure out how to make myself taller in this camera because I don't like streaming from my computer.
Tilt your camera. Don't you have a camera that tilts?
Yeah, but then it's going to be like looking at the ground.
Well, he's got an angle.
It's like literally up here.
If you were using your computer, you wouldn't have that problem. Or is that your computer? I was going to say, because you are shorty in that one, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot tall.
You just need to buy yourself, because that camera's built in your computer, right?
But it's a really good camera. It's a 1080.
It doesn't matter. It's not adjustable. That's your problem.
It is. Well, I mean.
Yeah, but it can only go so far, right?
You see my power cord?
Yeah. But it only goes so far. You need to have an outsourced camera.
I don't want an outsourced camera.
Well, you need to get a Logitech camera.
I just need a taller chair.
Yeah. Go to Adam's what you want to call it? The link.
The webcam on my computer is top of the line as far as all the other ones.
Keep going on about it. Logitech and those ones are superior cameras to those things, regardless.
It's the same resolution. The top of the line ones are the resolution I have.
You can adjust them.
Do I have good resolution, everyone?
You do have good resolution. The camera, but the camera does have good well, actually, hold on. It's not as sharp as your iPad, to be honest. Your iPad is actually sharper.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, and I also rearranged my desk today, so my light's all in a different. My light's now over here where it used to be over here.
The world fascinates me, but I always say one's company, two's a crowd, and three's a party. I'm just reading those plaques beside you. Yeah.
It says the idea of waiting for something makes it more exciting. And this says, I wonder if it's possible to have a love affair that lasts forever.
Yeah. I noticed there was a lot of Andy Warhol.
I like Andy Warhol.
Yeah. On your wish list on Amazon. Or at least everything it was showing me in the Canada version at the time anyway. But anyways, honestly, again, you guys will drop that link. And I'm just going to ask you guys again, just to support Ray Hanish and Justice for Ray Hanish and Justice at Garett Kirts, rots in HELLLLL, even longer. And yeah, I don't really think, besides us doing a different type of live on the whole scenario again and going over Ray's case and talking about, Ashley Garth, Garett Kirts, and stuff like that, and kind of, just theorizing, speculating more on different things to do with Delphi, or, open secrets and her post on Reddit, when she's talking about that. Again, Open Secrets couldn't keep her word if her life depended on it. And it frustrated me to no end. I would ask Cher, do you have that, video? Even just to have it so you hear it, right? Even if it's just to be heard, even if it can't be used. But she would have had the actual raw footage from it before she sliced and diced. Because obviously you can't, put everything into videos. Because those conversations can be a lot longer, but you have to, tone it down. Unlike the, Alex Murdaugh case.
And even if she doesn't have the footage, the jail would have the recording.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, like that they're aware of that, and that just adds to it.
Right. And that's why I've always said they don't need Open Secrets video to prove that he said that to her, because they have the jail call.
Well, correct.
But they only have it for another year.
Right.
Because someone said it's only good they held it for 5 years, right? Wait, so it's what year was it? 19?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, so this is year 4. So they have a year.
Hold on. It's one thing that it was 2019, but when she actually spoke to him, I think it might have been in 2020.
Okay, so good. Then
could be wrong,
time.
But yeah. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it would have been. Can't remember if it was 2020. I could be wrong.
You're right. The call was.
It was in 2019.
The call. It was I thought it was the end of 2019.
Probably because don't forget.
He got arrested like 3 days after Nicole, right?
Right. Yes.
Or the next day.
So it was after Nicole, so that would have been April 3rd, I believe, is when he was arrested. 4 days. Remember Mikey Hiddle was on our live talking about it. And then, so anyway, so April 3rd. So it's definitely later on, in there, that she would have been calling him. So it hasn't been 5 years yet then.
Right. And
the video was never posted that I ever personally saw, because it was for the family, but on Reddit, she posted that she had it.
Yeah. If it's true.
Oh, it's true.
I know.
Just like Chris Mathis knows all about it. I thought I heard Molly Colley donated, by the way, if she's still
there. So Molly Colley donated, and so did Kyle Davis. I wrote them down.
Whoa.
I wrote them down. Kyle Davis donated $2 and Molly Colley donated $5. So thank you very much for those super chats, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for that.
I didn't want to interrupt while you guys were streaming, but I did say thank you in the chat.
I could hear my thing go off. That's why I mute myself there a couple of times.
I did at one point, Sunny, say, "Do y'all want to hear Sunny's phone bing?" And then I messaged you.
And the thing was is that normally I have my phone on mute, but I had turned it on the other day off of mute because of my husband in case he called me. Other than that, I have it on mute. Next thing I know, I'm like, why is my phone dinging? Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding,
I was like, do y'all want to hear Sunny's phone ding?
Dang. And I don't know what happened. My internet literally just dropped. When I was on the live, it literally said something went wrong, and I looked, and it just said connect again. And I'm like, whew. Because at first I'm like, husband, the internet's down. Husband. And I was like, oh, come on. And then because I guess you guys said I was all laggy and stuff.
Just for a little bit. It wasn't long.
Yeah.
Do you mind if, I know we're talking about Ray tonight, but before we go off tonight, just at the end, do you mind if we show that article that I sent you?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have it pulled up on my computer. Do you have it in Messenger on the computer?
Oh, is it really, Princess?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need me to do it since you don't have it pulled up on your computer?
Please.
To hit share? Fine.
I probably played that entire thing on mute and just didn't realize it. Okay.
Okay, let me just get it.
And this was a case. I was going to do a video about it tonight before when I got home from work, before I found out about this. So I didn't have a chance to do a video, so I wanted to get it out there. So this is a little 2-year-old boy in I believe the Hernando, Florida.
Right,
is that the name of the town? Yeah, so this is a 2-year-old boy that's been missing since 10:40 this morning. Was the last time he was seen, and they've called off the search for the night. But he was last seen playing in the front yard with his dogs, and the parents called and reported him missing about an hour later. They're assuming he wandered off, but they don't have any evidence of what happened to him. But I mean, this is just a gorgeous little boy. His name's Joshua J.J. Rowland. And the article says here that I know one of the articles I was reading was saying they were using drones, they were using all sorts of techniques to find him, but they did call off the search for tonight just because it was so dark. But anyone that's in this area in Florida, I just wanted to get it out that this little boy is missing.
Yeah. Are you planning on reading it or no?
Oh, yeah, sure. This says a 2-year-old boy has gone missing in Hernando County, and after hours of searching Thursdays, authorities say his whereabouts are still unknown. The Hernando County Sheriff's Office said Joshua J.J. Rowland is believed to have left home in the area of Cheever Road and Yonts Road while his parents were asleep. The home is located in northern Brooksville in an area deputies described as rural. JJ was last seen wearing a gray Batman shirt and dark gray pajama pants with tools on them. He has curly blonde hair, and law enforcement said he may have a swollen lip. As of right now, we have no indication that he was abducted or that he wandered off. Hernando County Sheriff Al Ninehouse said in a 5 p.m. press conference, "We just don't know what happened." And I had that press conference somewhere. I don't know where I have it, though. Ninehouse said deputies spoke to neighbors and checked inside nearby homes multiple times throughout the day. One person, Ninehouse said they saw Rowland in their front yard around 10:40 a.m. playing with their dogs. Deputies believe Rowland went missing shortly after that time. More than 50 Hernando County deputies searched for Rowland Thursday, as did officers from multiple agencies. The Pasco Sheriff's Office sent a team with a bloodhound to help, and the Citrus County dive team is on the scene looking at bodies of water near the house. The dive team had not found anything by 5 p.m., but Ninehouse had said dive teams will arrive tomorrow if Rowland has not been found beforehand. In an updated news release sent at 8:37 p.m., Hernando officials said the ground search had ended for the night and would resume Friday morning. However, they said the aviation unit from Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office would continue its search of the area for a few more hours. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement put a statewide missing child alert just after 6 p.m. tonight. The Hernando County Sheriff said deputies are checking every lead, including a psychic who called from another state and provided a specific address where Rowland might be. Deputies went to that address. Rowland was not there. Ninehouse said detectives do not believe any of Rowland's family members have anything to hide, but no one has been ruled out as a possible suspect at this point. Every hour that goes by, another 5 hours or so far. It certainly doesn't make us more hopeful, Ninehouse said. If anything, it's less hopeful. Ninehouse asked anyone within a 2-mile area of the area where JJ went missing to check their property for any signs of Roland, but he said it's possible the boy got further away than deputies may have first thought. Anyone with information is asked to call 911 or the Hernando County Sheriff's Office at 352-754-6850. And I know in an earlier article I had read, they are asking the public not to assist in the search, but to check their properties and areas that they're familiar with. And I think the only reason that they don't want the public assisting in the search is for the exact reason of what we saw happen in Delphi, where you have a large amount of people come onto one area and possibly contaminate a scene. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know this is about Ray, but I did want to get the story out there.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. Right. It's about bringing awareness and again, sending it through your social media.
Yeah.
If this was anyone's child.
Because where does a 2-year-old go?
Yeah, I mean,
I know they say might have wandered off, but I'm like, where does a 2-year-old go?
Yeah.
Like, how far can a 2-year-old get? Now, this is a rural area. There are woods around the property. So, it's very possible. But even in Florida, it's 11:51 p.m.
Yeah.
That's the little boy's been missing for 13 hours at this point. And a 2-year-old's not going to be built for surviving in the wilderness for 13 hours, for overnight. So I'm just going to say a prayer and hope that this turns out well.
Mm-hmm. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. Really want to talk about the Murdaugh case.
I know.
I was watching that today. I was pretty much glued in. Like, can I just say, watching that prosecutor, it was like, no, sorry, the prosecutor. Talking about beating a horse, like, so you can't tell us any specific situation where you were sitting down talking to them, and he's literally saying, look, I remember all of these cases. I don't remember specifically. Obviously, I would have looked them in the eye. Obviously, I was deceiving them. Obviously, I was doing that. And the guy just wouldn't drop it. Like, he really just wanted him to say, yes, I was talking to this person. I specifically said, this, and this, because he was trying to draw the emotions to the jury there. Like, that's why he wanted to go, of course, through all those cases. And it's like, so you can't remember one time, That was making me a little bit giggle there because, like, dude, he's really answered you. In a sense. You're just trying to get the little crumbs of what he exactly was saying, but who's going to remember exactly what they were saying, like in 2012 from 2000, 10 years ago? You're going to remember you were sitting across from them, lying to them, deceiving them, taking their money.
Right.
But
hopefully if you steal $1 million from them, you should.
Hey?
Hopefully, if you steal $1 million from someone, you should remember sitting across from them.
That's the thing, right? He's saying, yes, I remember this, but you're asking me to tell you what the conversation was about, and I don't remember. Yes, I would have been looking them in the eye. So that was kind of getting actually on my nerves because he kept asking the same question. It's like, dude, he truly is answering you. You just want him to sit there and say, well, I said this person said this person said that.
In my opinion, he wanted the jury to hear that over and over again.
Of course he did.
That you looked them in the eye and you were able to lie to someone.
Yeah.
Straight-faced. Because that's what he's trying to imply that Alex is doing to everyone in that courtroom.
Yeah. And exactly. And so it was kind of like, okay, he drew that on himself because he was, Alex kept giving him the same darn answer every single time.
He handled himself, in my opinion, he handled himself well on the stand.
Well,
I didn't buy everything he said, but I thought he handled himself in a calm, cool, collected manner. But that could go two ways because it means he can handle himself in a cool, calm, collected way under pressure.
I mean, I thought, for honestly, like he was just basically really telling it like it was, excluding the fact that he's guilty of anything, really. But I mean, you can't deny that you lied to people, took people's money. So he's basically just doing that part of, hey, yeah, I did it. I know. I'm telling you, I did. And then by the same token, saying, I never touched my wife, never would do that, and stuff like that. But this case really today was about the financial aspect of it and him trying to get him to say, look, you deceived these people, wanting to get the jury to feel for the people that he impacted, because of all this. And would he be capable, obviously, of hurting his wife over financial situations and his son for the self gain? And so
I'm still curious about the gain. That's
what gain out of it would he achieve by his wife?
That's what I'm still, because by all accounts we don't know of life insurance for Paul and Maggie.
I'm sure there was.
Why isn't the prosecution brought it up? There's so many things that I'm like,
someone that has that much money, those people always typically put a life insurance on them.
I mean, he put one on. He put one on his. He put a commercial policy on his housekeeper.
Yeah, right. So, who knows? Again, I mean, they brought that information in. I don't know. I thought it was just kind of weird to see him on the stand talking for himself. Yeah. I was like, oh, is his ass going to get handed to him, or how's this going to go?
Tomorrow will be the most interesting.
Once it gets into the part about, about the timelines and everything, to put that back in his face. This financial stuff is okay. We get it. We get the fact that he was lying and doing all this. So we got that part of it now.
Right. The other part that I found interesting in his testimony today is when they were talking about Mallory's death and the boat case, and
there was no life insurance stuff.
That's what the prosecutor. I didn't believe. I thought the prosecution said there wasn't, or that no policy they had found, which is why I'm like, they haven't shown any motive as far as like financial gain from them being unalived. But I found it really interesting when they brought up the badge thing and him being in the hospital with the badge,
right?
Trying to talk to the other kids, because to me that now opens the door for when the prosecution does their rebuttal case to call Connor Cook or possibly Morgan to the stand, and testify that he did try to persuade them not to say who was driving the boat, right. Which is going to be a further proof that he has no problem lying.
Right. So if he's going to lie there, he's going to lie about his wife and his kid.
And the blue lights, that was crazy. That was crazy to me, Steffa. I'm like, he's a private citizen, and he's installed police lights in his vehicle.
Right. Like he's
got away with it.
Like, dang well when the prosecution was saying, hey, look, do you consider yourself wealthy or prominent? Let me just eat my... No, we're well off, but...
what do you deem wealthy,
What is wealthy? Yeah.
Stole $12 million, but...
I mean, if you want to use that word, wealthy, I mean, then I guess we were,
right.
Had money,
All that said, I don't think the prosecution has proved their case yet.
I don't think so either.
There's reasonable if I'm on that jury, there's reasonable doubt.
Yeah, well, let's see what's to come, I guess. Eh?
Right. And you never know what a jury's thinking. The jury might not be buying it at all. They might think he's guilty, and they might be ready. They're ready to go home. They thought they were going to be done 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm not sure, Because I remember asking Alexa, but I don't know that she answered if we were talking about John Bonet tomorrow. I don't think she ever answered. Remember, I asked her when she was in the live, but I don't recall ever seeing an answer. So, anyways, we'll post tomorrow what we're talking about on a thumbnail.
I'm going to hang out with my niece all day tomorrow until tomorrow night, but
yeah,
but I'll be here.
Oh, thanks. You gonna show up?
I'll try.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm ready to get off here. I want to go see my husband, finish my dinner.
3 hours.
KFC tonight. Husband brought home KFC.
Yeah, I'm starving. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. And again, share it to your social media. Again, prayers for the family of Ray Hanish and justice for Ray. And thank you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow night. I don't know. Steph, go get Adam some ketchup chips. Now. Now. Don't argue.
Or else I'll tell Sunny what y'all said about her while she was gone.
Right. Mm-hmm. All I knew is that once I got the thing, I was like, Mark, where are you, dude? I see what my reason was. Anyways, you guys take care. Have a great night. Thanks for joining. And thanks, Adam, for, of course, hosting over here for the live for Mel. Alrighty.
Good night.
All right. Good night. I really got it. You guys, how is it that I have not made an extra, really? Tell me to get off my lazy butt and make an extra for when we leave,
an outro?
Yeah, an outro. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm saying like an innie belly button and an outro belly button.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. I guess I should hit the end button, though, hey?